comfortable. Still I ask myself, are we our game? It's not logical, but you contemplate, are we am I?
So that's not an official association, but we are watching on Amazon Prime, and I believe it is our first Monday night Amazon game this year, which we love. We got Biz on the panel, you got all the great guys behind the scenes, and that sort of thing. This is an exciting night. Ann Verk hosting, we love them, and I hope that you guys are doing okay, and I hope that you've recovered from what was objectively one of those heartbreaking losses of all time. Of all time. Am I dropping frames here, Hayden? Am I fixed? Am I good? There we go. It's the damn Wi-Fi in here. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is brutal in here, and you can blame Rogers. Anyway, long story short, I just wanted to say that I'm really excited to be doing Pittsburgh Penguins Toronto Maple Leafs game, and I'm excited for you to join me. I just want to make sure, Hayden, how are we doing on the stream? Does it look good? Are we synced up? Does the sound work? Is the frame dropping? Okay, all right, yeah. Yeah. Somebody said it's looking a little bit like the Sportsnet Plus app. Yeah, man. Maybe Sportsnet just like they contacted Rogers and they're like, hey, we heard SDPN does streams during this time. Is there any way you can throttle their internet? That'd be super cool. Thanks so much for that. I think maybe that's what's going on here. It's got to be it. Anyway, listen. Today, the let me just check something. I just want to make sure I got this right. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. The 5th place in the NHL Penguins, because they're only 1 point out of first place in the NHL Penguins, take on the wait, where are the Toronto Maple Leafs? How far down are they? Toronto Maple Leafs are where? They're in what spot? The 23rd place Toronto Maple Leafs against the 5th place, almost first place Pittsburgh Penguins. This feels like a 2014 stream. This feels like something that we did before we knew what streaming was. This is crazy. The fact that we're sitting here and the Pittsburgh Penguins have done as well as they have is a testament to 3 people, I'm going to say. Okay. First guy, Evgeny Malkin. Gino's had a crazy start this year. We love him. He's been amazing. Second guy, Sidney Crosby has taken 13 games to get to his 9th goal. And as Josh Yohe of The Athletic stated a little bit earlier on Twitter, it took Gretzky like 60 games to do that at 38. And that was, I believe, Gretzky's last season. He did have 62 assists, but he did not have a lot of goals. And then one more guy. And one guy that I've been ultra critical of, but I still drafted him to my fantasy team. So it's not like I didn't believe in what he could do. But it's the guy that the general manager said his ambitions need to match his work ethic, or vice versa, one of the two. That'd be Erik Karlsson. He's got 10 assists in 13 games. Those 3 guys are driving the majority of the offense for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it's really flipping impressive. Let's just call it what it is. It's been a really good start. It feels really good for the players, and it feels really good for the team and the also, listen, let's not forget about Justin Brazeau with 12 points in 12 games, former Leaf. Guys, it's just the way it is. It's the way it is in Toronto. Now, tonight I'm looking for a couple of things, okay? I'm looking for the Toronto Maple Leafs to not look like the slower team on the ice. You know, the Pittsburgh Penguins are old, and they are, listen, I think they're missing Brian Rust, too, for like 6 weeks here. There is no excuse for being the second fastest team on the ice tonight. And that doesn't have to mean foot speed. It means puck speed. It means you're playing. It's not Rust, it's Raquel that's out. It means that you're playing your game so well that the puck moves quickly. Like it slices through the opponent like butter. They haven't done that a lot. The Philadelphia game, which I did watch along with Game 7, they started to do it. And you know what's interesting for the Toronto Maple Leafs is not only did Matthews score in that game, but your good friend Nicholas Robertson did too. And that's his 2nd game in a row where he has a goal and assist. So since he joined Matthews' line, which I believe was versus Calgary, 3 games he's had 4 points. That's an impressive thing. We love that. We love that. Now, let's get to some of the super chats here. I know there have been a few. Francois LaBelle screaming out fighting for love. You know our intro song, Francois. We love that. Cassie said, okay, but consider if the Pens lose, I will cry. Listen, I can't say that I'm not rooting for that outcome, Cassie, but I'm not rooting for you to cry. How's that? Also, Francois LaBelle dropped 5 SDPN memberships, and Cassie did point out Ben Kindle has kind of been a stud. And I'm pretty sure I was there for his first NHL goal. Rangers and Pens. I believe that was him. It might have been somebody else too. You know how good my memory is. For the Freak Show 777 says the PDO Penguins are off to a crazy start. Now, if you look at what's been carrying the Penguins, it has been majority special teams. But hey, you know the crazy thing about special teams is they're also a part of the game. And I know that when we look at like long-term success of teams, we go, okay, well, but what's their 5-on-5 play like? It's interesting because when we get to the playoffs, what we look at is, hey, what is their special teams like? Because usually the teams with the best special teams, both defensively and offensively, usually get the furthest. So it's funny. The way we look at hockey in the regular season is, okay, but how are they 5-on-5? The way we look at it in the playoffs a lot of times is, yes, we do look at 5-on-5, but the special teams carry you. If the Penguins can kind of sneak in, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Now, I have forgotten. I've done something wrong. I've forgotten my poppy. It's in the kitchen. It's over there. I'm going to get it for the second period, just so everybody knows. But I'm not going to get up in the middle of the stream and put it on. But I had it on for the stream today. You know that it exists. I will be wearing my poppy. Sidney Crosby has at 16 points this season already. Not bad, says Victoria Tucker 32. Yep. Yep. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's going to look good as a Hab. Did I say that? Also, I want to shout out producer Hayden. He and I have not done a show together. Hayden, how long has it been since we've done a show? I've missed you. 2.5, 3 weeks? Yeah, something like that. So Hayden, yeah, Maddie did a couple streams with me, and I'm obviously going to be doing a few extra streams this year. So we're gonna keep on going. But I'm pretty excited about the fact. Hayden, what did you say you have? They got you a stream deck. What is that for people who don't know? Oh, you got hotkeys. You could press things and make celebrations and dance music like Jesse. Oh. So you hold on. Could you fire up the out of town scoreboard for us? Show me the out of town scoreboard. I gotta see. Look, watch. Hayden's gonna press a button. Watch. Ready? All right. Oh, see it? You see it? Yeah, we got the technology upgraded. You see? You see, guys? Now, I cannot stand it when a game says it's starting at 7:30, and here we are 15 minutes later, and the puck has not dropped. Do these people not understand that we have just spent the last month watching baseball games that start at minimum 8:08, but sometimes at 8:30? At least with baseball, you know they're going to start on time. They start when they're supposed to. But with hockey, you're like, yeah, 7 o'clock, the game should start somewhere between now and 9. Hayden says hockey's the only sport that's bad with it. That's true, because the NFL, they just are honest. Here's when kickoff is. It's 1, it's 4, it's 8:25, whatever it is. That's when it happens. It's hockey's just ridiculous. Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying. But you know what? We're gonna hang out here and wait for this puck to be dropped. Cassie says it seems like you are rooting for me to cry. Look at the 3 goalies Kindles has scored against. Now that is an interesting stat. Maybe I can get Hayden to look that up. Cassie, look at the goal, or Hayden, can you look at the goalies that Mr. Ben Kindle has scored against? We can have some fun with that. Also, let's see what else is going on in the chat. Matthias Michelli, by the way, it looks like he is scratched for the Leafs tonight, and we're still waiting on the lineup. But I'm assuming that whoever is in, and I think it's Bobby McMahon because he was left off of line rushes today. Bobby McMahon is going to be in on the third line. So we're looking at Joshua, and Bobby McMahon on that third line. It's going to be Nyes reunited with Matthews and Robertson on the first line. And then the second line, William Nylander is returning, and Easton Cowan is joining John Tavares, because obviously that worked out on Saturday night. Easton Cowan scoring his first NHL goal, and we're getting ready. They're about to drop the puck here. Here we go. And are you guys ready to get going? It's time, baby. Prime Monday Night Hockey. You know we love those guys. Matthews, Crosby, what a shot right there. What a shot. And Matthews wins the faceoff draw. There he is, the better player, Austin Matthews. You know, Pens fans, I have to give you shit. Also, I think tonight's a good night to break out the Pens golden jersey, which I absolutely am in love with, and purchased for myself while I was in Pittsburgh. It's very sexy, and it is also in the other room. So I'm going to bring that out and show that off in the second period. You know, I got to spread these things out. We can't just start and give you everything right off the top. Morgan Riley carries the puck across center, throws it in. Third line is out there. So that's Waugh, McMahon, and Joshua. By the way, Waugh and Joshua look really good together. They seem to be settling in. It's just really complicated to say their names together. Say Waugh and Joshua. Waugh and Joshua. Waugh and Joshua. It's a lot. It's a lot. Stallers and Jari are the starters. How about Christian Jari turning his whole life around? 5-1-0. Oh! Wow, what a play. Bobby McMahon made a great play to Nick Waugh out front. Little backhand. Tristan Jari was there. By the way, Tristan Jari is 5-1 this year with a .923 save percentage. He was unplayable last year. They sent him down, put him on waivers. How many teams would die for a goalie with numbers like that through the first leg of the season, for the first month, and only have to pay him $5 million. Now, all of a sudden, Tristan Jarry seems like a steal. And that's the key. If he's playing well, damn, that's a good contract. He just hasn't played well during this contract. And hopefully for him, we'll keep it up. Easton Cowan line out there with John Tavares. Nylander to Cowan, brings the puck in, circles back, shot, broken stick from Philip Myers, who is never afraid to shoot the puck. Leafs need a little bit more of that. I'm seeing OEL shoot a lot more lately. Need a little more of that and Philip Myers, and they happen to be on the same defense pairing. So expect some bombs from the point when these guys are out. Shots are 1-1, 18:07 left in the first period. Leafs fighting for it in the along the boards in their own zone. Nylander digging. Blake Lizotte in on the Leafs. Penguins are changing. Leafs kind of lose the puck. Penguins kind of grab it. Brunick, by the way, number 45, is somebody to watch too. He was sort of obviously he was a guy that, they had a lot of faith in coming out of junior, but not a guy I don't think that they expected necessarily to make the team this year. And he's been a real surprise and really fun out of camp. There have been a few scratches, obviously, as you see with young players. Could be that maybe he doesn't stay up the whole season, but there are already some fun little bright spots for the Pittsburgh Penguins from their draft picks recently. And honestly, something that we have not seen in Pittsburgh for a little while because they were trying to win the cup and trading all those draft picks away. So it's got to be fun and exciting. A whole new young generation of Penguins to fall in love with. I can hear you, Hayden. Who are the 3 goalies Ben Kindle has scored on? Give it to me. Bobrovsky, Gustafsson, Shesterkin. Woo! Yeah, I was there for his first goal. And it was look that goal up. Ben Kindle's first goal was a blistering shot. So Max Domi, Sammy Blais, and Calle Jarnkrok are the 4th line. I don't know how they consider that. I'm not sure how they look at that in terms of line importance. One guy that has actually really impressed me, and you're going to laugh about this, is our good friend Sammy Blais, picked up on waivers from the Montreal Canadiens. Now, fair to say that Sammy Blais was sat for a long time. When you get some ice time after you've been sitting for a while, look at Nick Robertson. He scores every time. Sammy Blais has already scored, and he looks like a big forechecking 4th liner, which is kind of what they need. Oh, big play out front. Matthew Knies gets the puck to Robertson. He puts it just wide of the net. Robertson is back now to get the puck as it's in the Leaf zone. Bounced out. Matthews corrals. Back pass to McCabe. Penguins all over him. That's Hollander. McCabe puts it into the skates of Austin Matthews, and it goes to the blue line. Crosby coming back, makes a great play across. Oh, and that would have been a goal for Hollander if he'd only hit the net. Man, that was a great play started by Sid. It's almost like he's good at hockey. Something that the Leafs are going to have to watch out for. Maybe guard Sidney Crosby. Just a thought. I don't want to tell people what to do. These are professionals. But I feel like it might be a good suggestion. Death Eater 2771 says, "Go Leafs." Yes. Now that the Jays are gone, and let's be honest, the Raptors, not a lot of high expectations there, but they could be a fun team. All eyes are on the Leafs, and they got away with a pretty ugly October because the Blue Jays soaked up all the oxygen in Toronto. Nobody's freaking out just yet. Also, nice to get through about 4 minutes in the first period, and the Penguins haven't scored yet. For Pens fans that haven't been paying attention, that's been a bit of a problem for the Leafs, is allowing the first goal and allowing it early. Stolarz has not been himself. Caden Primo is not a playable goalie. He's not an option. And we're waiting for Joseph Woll to come back, and we're expecting he's eligible anytime, but I wouldn't expect to see him until at least late next week. If I'm wrong on that, I will be thrilled. I want to be wrong. Is everybody calling me Alejandro Kirk? Adam hit into a double play at the end of the series. Adam couldn't help, his bat broke. What? I'm missing the inside jokes here. Oh, big save, or big save by Stolarz. Big shot by Novak. Kindle behind the net, held up by Riley. Tavares is able to strip the puck from the Penguins, and out come the Leafs. Cowan with the puck crossing the red line, the blue line, the red line, the blue line. In on another young guy. That's number 45. Brunick. Pass. Koivunen. Shot. Bit dangerous there, but it was kind of tipped wide. Benoit on Novak. He's got him pinned. Lizotte and Domi are also fighting in the corner right by the Pizza sign at the Scotiabank Arena. And out comes William Nylander. Leafs are in the middle of a change, though. Nylander kind of does the soft dump in. Maybe not the most ideal dump in for a change, especially, I guess he's trying to avoid an icing, but Carlson. Shot blocked. Domi is going to get away here. He's got a lot of speed. He gets the puck over to Yarncroke, and Carlson is back to kind of break that up. 14-18 left in the first period. Stollers behind the net. One of his strengths, by the way, Anthony Stollers, is his ability to move the puck. He got it to Sammy Blais there, who back passes it behind the net. And now it is up. OEL and Myers out there on defense. They get a little mixed up there. Crosby and Rust are their opponents. That's a challenge. Matthews is out there against Crosby. You want to make sure you got that your best defensive center, which is, strangely enough, Austin Matthews on Sidney Crosby. Matthews intercepts a Penguins pass. Robertson crosses the line. Shot from Nyes is blocked, and around go the Penguins. Russ brings the puck up the ice. It's a 1-on-4. Brandon Carlo is able to angle him to the side, tip the puck loose, and the Penguins back off because they are changing. Carlo makes the breakout. Pass across center to Matthew Nyes. Nyes clears it. And Robertson pushes over Tomasino, and he's laughing about it. I like that about Nick. That's a little bit of attitude. He's not a big guy. But, and Pens fans, you got to understand. We haven't had a lot of attitude on this team in the last month. So if Robertson's going to be out there acting like the big dog, even when we know he's not like a really big dog, we're going to take it. We're going to take it. Wes Richard. Hi, Papa Adam. It's Daddy Wes. Happy to see you streaming again. I missed you and them grippers. Well, thank you. I did do streams throughout, but I think it's important to understand that Jesse Blake was kind of the important one. You know, that was a big deal. Now, out of town, we got the Oilers and Blues at 8:30. Who else was playing? The Canucks? Who do we got there, Hayden? Canucks, Predators, and then Blackhawks and Kraken. Wes Richard dropping 5 SGPN memberships. We love it. Cassie says, every time I see a goalie come out, I get Jari Islanders PTSD. Bro really traumatized the whole generation of Pens fans. Yeah, if I remember correctly, the Penguins were going to make the playoffs if they won that game, and then Jari came out and a bad goal went in, and they had a bad year last year. Then they had a bad year last year. So, I am very optimistically hoping that the Toronto Maple Leafs have found a good combination of their first line. I don't know if you Pens fans understand the misery of seeing your best player struggle when he's completely healthy, because I don't know if Sidney Crosby ever struggles. Like, I know he goes through periods where he's like, oh, I've only scored a point tonight, not 2 points or 5. But Austin Matthews, fully healthy, has had a really tough start to the year. Not a lot of offensive zone chances being created. It's looking like with Nyes and with Robertson on his wing that there is a little bit more intimidation, because you know that Nick Robertson can shoot. And so defenses will have to cover him. When Matthews and Marner got on the ice together, the thing was defenses kind of had to cover them both. If you can, I'm not saying that Robertson is Marner. Please don't misinterpret. But if you can spread the defenses out a little bit, you're going to give him a little bit more room. He's also got to find it himself. It's kind of key to Austin Matthews' game, and that's sort of been missing. Now, yeah. So how many? What did you say, Hayden? 20 seasons at a point a game? By the way, I'm looking at the poll results that Justin just sent through, and our poll's interesting. We had a lot of Pens fans in the chat. Who you got tonight, chat? Leafs at 58%, Penguins at 42%. We got a lot of Penguins fans that go way, way back with the Steve Dangle podcast. It's one of the first cities that we actually online, when we used to be on SoundCloud, could see that was one of the first cities that we actually did really well in outside of Toronto. And so weirdly enough, SDPN has a lot of Yinzers, and I think that's pretty cool. So shout out to all the Pens fans in the chat tonight. I'll do my best to be unbiased, but I'm a Leaf fan. Come on. That probably makes me harder on them. If I was unbiased, then I couldn't be as hard on the Leafs as I will be. Leaf Opstad says, question for the podcast, probably best suited for Jesse. All-time Blue Jays lineup. Life. I am happy to ask Jesse that question tomorrow for the show, and I'm going to copy and paste that because my chat's over here. I'm going to copy and paste that for the questions section, but I cannot answer that right now as we are in the middle of the hockey game, and I need to do a little research. Need to know a little more. I already know who I'd put at DH, and it's my favorite player ever, Paul Molitor. Love him. Benoit over to McCabe. Great to see this pairing, which worked so well in the 23-24 season, kind of reunited. Carlo and Riley are together. OEL is with Philip Myers. Seems like a good fit there. Myers and Riley played like 40-something games together last year, and you'll be shocked to know that it didn't suit Riley very well. He's a guy that needs a very specific defense partner. They found that in Brandon Carlo, although I wish Carlo was a little bit meaner. Riley's numbers improved almost instantly with Carlo there, and hopefully that continues into the season. Oh, we got to play close to the net. Couple of Pens down in front of Stallers, but the puck is not in. Here come the Leafs. Myers with a shot. Oh, Nick Robertson missed a wide open net. Myers took the shot. Jari redirected the puck right to Nick Robertson's stick, and he just missed the net. Oh, baby. Matthews cycles behind the net. He's trying to shake off Ryan Shea. Myers at the point, looking for a shot, always is. Cycles it back down. Nobody low for the Leafs. OEL slaps the puck out of the air, but it unfortunately goes to Ben Kindle, who gets it in deep. Leafs regain possession in their own zone. Myers on the high wall with the Leafs, on the Leafs side, that is, and the Leafs are going to change. That was a really great opportunity by Nick Robertson. I don't know if Jari made the save of his life there or if that was just an incredibly sad missed opportunity, which, listen, that fits with the city of Toronto. Let's be honest. That's how we do. 10:32 left in the first period. Not a lot of chances. Very low event hockey here, which in previous times did favor the Leafs. It's just a question of whether they can score anymore. Sammy Blais with a big hit. Novak is able to get back up, though, just fine. That was one of those hits that's useful. It's a useful hit. Player isn't hurt on the other side, but he does lose the puck, and that's what you need. Blais. Leafs fourth line will change. Erik Karlsson, puck shot in. Stollers to Benoit. Benoit, puck up the ice. Great pass to Easton Cowan, who is able to take a hit, but the Penguin player falls down. John Tavares strips somebody behind the net. I didn't see the number. Lizotte to Karlsson to Lizotte. 2 are the shots from the Pittsburgh Penguins. We're 9:30 into this. If you're wondering, guys, this is a pretty slow start to the game. A lot of neutral zone play, a lot of going back and forth and back and forth. I hate to say it, but this is good for the Leafs. Not because the Penguins are bad, but because they're good. If the Leafs are playing Penguins level hockey in the year 2025, then that's a good sign. It's been a rough start. It's been a sad, rough start. Hayden's got a question. What's up, Hayden? Who's got the better all-time starting 5, Edmonton Oilers or Pittsburgh Penguins? That's a damn good question. Now, you see, here's the thing. You've arguably got the top 4 players of all time, 2 on each team, right? Because I would expect that you would move Messier to the wing and then Jari Kurri and Wayne Gretzky, right? Or do you take Jari Kurri off that and put Connor McDavid on there? Like, if you're an Oiler fan, would you rather have Leon and Connor with Gretzky or Messier and McDavid? Or like, that's the tough one, right? And then on defense, this is where it gets super interesting. Obviously, Paul Coffey's number one. Who's the second defenseman? Who's the second best defenseman of the Oilers' 80s? Or do you go with Chris Pronger, who went all the way to the Stanley Cup final with them in 2006? Or was it 4? No, 2006. That was cool. That was a fun Stanley Cup final. I remember rooting on the Oilers, being like, man, this team's special. They're very cool. Mike Pekka was on that team too. Really, really good team. Now on the Pittsburgh side, I guess goaltending wise too, you probably do Nikolai Habibulin or Tommy Salo, right? Was Nikolai? Yeah, Nikolai was an Oiler. Tommy Salo, maybe. Who's that? What did you say? I don't put Grant Fuhr in there. No disrespect to Grant Fuhr. I know he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think skill wise, I don't know if Grant Fuhr is a top 3 goaltender in Oilers history. There's my hot take. And it's not because I'm trying to disrespect former Leaf Grant Fuhr. Nice, by the way. We'll come back to Pittsburgh in a second. We gotta watch ready to play here. Now, Leafs first line is out there against Penguins first line. Well, it's Rust, Malkin, and I can't see the third. Maybe they got the. Oh no, it's Crosby. No, yeah, he's pretty good. Muckmeh says, Adam, my fave. Now that the players are allowed to have their own goal songs and game opening, what song would you choose for yourself? My pick would be my pick would have always been Panama, which is kind of funny because the Leafs now use that for their goal song. So I would say Jump from Van Halen because they're my favorite band. You got to have something that hits, right? Like hits quick. And that synthesizer is so uplifting and fun, whatever. I would do that. And also like what happens when people score a goal? Everybody jumps to their feet. So might as well jump, right? That would be my pick. What about you guys? What's your goal song pick? Sorry about the snorts, by the way. Not sure what's going on there. Here comes Dakota Joshua through center. By the way, we're going to come back to top 5, like ultimate Penguins lineup, starting lineup here in a second. Man and Wah in against Kindle on the wall there. Kindle does a pretty good job, able to maintain that puck, get it over to Letang. Wah able to strip it from Letang, keep the puck. Oh, hi, who's here?
I was trying to sneak up on you.
Oh, Steve's here, everybody. I'm like, who the hell's walking into this building at 8 o'clock at night? Hey, everybody, it's Steve Dangle.
Hi.
Did you just get back from Rick Westhead's event?
I sure did.
Okay, here, you got to talk into the mic.
I sure did.
There you go.
Sorry, I forgot how this all works.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, hooray.
You've missed nothing in this game.
Yeah?
You missed. It's the shots are 4-2. You've missed nothing.
I saw Nick Robertson made a guy forget how legs work.
Yeah, he did, and then almost scored. They didn't show the replay of it, but he had this crazy. Of course, Philip Myers shot it. Jari kicked it to the side, and then Robertson almost had it. It was great. It was
Listen,
great.
let's not mince words, Adam. There's a lot on the line for you tonight.
Why?
It's the Leafs and the Penguins. It's not good news if the Leafs lose this game, man.
No, it sucks. Well, listen, they're already. So the Penguins. Did you know that the Penguins have fallen from 1st to 5th?
Yo, what a bunch of bums.
If they win tonight, they'll be back in 1st.
Oh.
They're tied for 2nd with like 8 other teams. 18 points.
When people post their team, like where they are in the standings, I'm like, all right, you need to shut your face. Oh, no!
Oh! And the Penguins score. It's Erik Karlsson. Great for my fantasy team. Terrible for my real team.
This is because I went and got the exact same facial hair as him. He scored. This is garbage.
It's bad. Anyway, hey, Rick Westhead's going to be on the show tomorrow. Steve, we'll see you later, my friend. Thanks for joining. Stove Dingle. Mike Schmidt, my goal song would be Business Time by Flight of the Conchords. Oh, I like that. Cassie is also booing you, just so you know. Yeah, and the Leafs. Yeah, man, thanks for showing up for Crosby passing it beautifully to Karlsson with a shot. That was a sexy goal. That was a really sexy goal. Top cheddar. Same color as the Penguins jerseys. Damn. Yeah, we can blame Steve for this one, by the way. That is his fault. The Leafs are 3-3-1 after allowing the first goal this season. Why so many? Why 3-3-1? Well, because that's all they do. That's basically their record. 6:33 left. Leafs need to generate some offense, dude. That's what we need. A bit of a grappling match there. Nick Robertson seems like he's got whatever it is. He's got it tonight. Matthews seems to be flowing a little bit. Rest of the team, though, scary. Cassie says Steve needs to stay. I'm sorry, Cassie. He cannot stay. He must go home. He's got to watch the game, and then he's got to do an LFR about the game. 800 save percentage. Sometimes you get goalie. This defense sucks. Mick 1439. I don't think the defense numbers are actually, to be honest with you. That's the scary part. I think Stollers has more 5-goal games this season than all of last year already. That's a problem. Austin Walker says, Steve walks in to say hi. Penn score. That's a dang it. Ghost of War says, how many times has this cross ice pass killed them this year? The Leafs? Oh, it's like, listen, I'm a Steeler fan. And up until this weekend, I was convinced the Steelers could actually have a good team, except that they can't stop the pass. The Leafs are the same as the Steelers. They cannot stop the pass. They can stop the run. They can stop the running game. They can't stop the pass. Francois Labelle, ML got scored on because of TJE Sad Clown showing up. Oh, wait. Hold on. ML got scored on because of the Sad Clown showing up. Who's ML? You mean the Leafs? Gabe says, Adam, do you have any advice and or sponsors for mustache care? I have no advice for mustache care. I grow my mustache once a year. And believe it or not, I'm actually growing it now. I just haven't shaved it, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. You guys are going to see a pretty delicious mustache. I don't know if you know, if you saw the show yet today, but Steve and Jesse and I, well, we're actually, no, I think this is going to be in tomorrow's show. We're picking our mustaches for November, and I will be shaven, baby, and it's going to look sexy. But I wanted to grow the beard in a little bit first, so I had something, right? Because it's really, the first few days with a mustache are always weird. So it helps to have a little bit of a beard and then shave it back down, clean it up. Yeah. More hockey cards, please. Hey, Adam, look on the bright side. You get to watch Crosby in the playoffs like you demanded, and you get to watch the lottery draft, and maybe the Leafs can get Gavin McKenna. Yeah, well, listen, the draft pick that they traded away at the deadline last year is top 5 protected. So if they somehow had a disaster year, they will get that draft pick back and have to give up their 2028 first. So it doesn't get much better. Man Goose, Adam, I've been with you on the Ducks playoff take. First in the Pacific, when do Steve and Jesse apologize on the podcast? See, I think it's too early, Mangoose, to have them apologize for my picking the Ducks. I don't want to gloat too soon. The Red Wings are at the top of the division. The Penguins are at the top of the division. There's a lot of wonkiness going on right now, right? So I was wrong about the Penguins. I was right about the Ducks. So I call that an even split. I was wrong about the Detroit Red Wings, right? I will be right about the Colorado Avalanche. I'm pretty sure they're winning the cup this year. But I'm telling you right here, right now, if it's December 1st and the Ducks are still at the top, we're having a chat at that point. We're just having a chat. I'm just gonna point it out, highlight it with a little Bic highlighter. Just say, I'm gonna print it out. I'm gonna highlight it and be like, guys, I'm handing you a piece of paper. What do you see? That's all I'm going to do. And then if January 1st, 2026 rolls around and it starts to get, like, if we get to the Olympic break and they're still in first place and they're buying at the deadline, and, like, listen, Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts today already said, I wonder if they'd take a run at a guy like Panarin. What? The Ducks? I mean, they already have Trouba and Kreider. Why not? Yeah, so we'll see. Man Goose, by the way, Alan Walsh has a client, and his name is Mons Goose. You should look him up. Goaltender, Mons Goose. He was just drafted, I think, in the 4th or 5th round this year. ML. Oh, Francois Lebel, Maple Leafs. Okay, sorry, Francois Lebel. The Maple Leafs. I look at them as TML. I don't know why. That's usually the short form. Leafs on the power play here. It's not been great for them. It's so strange. They've got the 29th power play in the league. And yet, if you talk to the advanced stats guys, they're like, hey, their underlyings look good, though, so that should correct. And I'll tell you something. I hate that take. Not because they're wrong. I want them to be right. But I hate that it's not going in now. I want my Christmas presents right now. Jay, you know what? I can't even read your name properly. I apologize. Jai Wang. Sorry. So, Adam, remember how you always said Washington had their next wave? Where is that for the Pens? I think what we're seeing is the Pens' young guys are arriving. Their older guys are turning back the clock. Well, there's 2 young guys that have arrived for the Pens, which is good. I think that we're going to need to see some more, but I do think it's a good start. I want to see Rucker McGorty, come in and be a factor. I want to, you know what I mean? Like they made a big swing trading for him. I do think they need a couple more years of drafting, but they don't have to be horrific. In fact, that was the point. Don't be horrific. Gonna be a whooping when the Winnipeg Jets are the best team in Canada. Well, weren't they the best team in Canada like the last couple of years? Like they won a President's Trophy and I think were the runner-up last year, right? They were the best regular season team. The problem with the Jets is the same thing with the Leafs. It's the playoffs. Always a problem. Hayden says, that reminds me of Dodgers fans saying they were the underdogs. Where were the Dodgers the underdogs? Who had the Dodgers not winning that World Series? The billion-dollar payroll, never expected to be here. Okay. Muckmeh says, my goal song would be Kill the Poor by Dead Kennedys. I think it would be very funny, but probably a firm no from PR, so I'd go with Rainmaker from Iron Maiden. That's a good one. I like that. It would be fun if players got to do that because it kind of shows the personality too. I love to know what players listen to. I think that's interesting. Yeah, they do this in Buffalo. One of the things that Buffalo has gotten right. 3 minutes left, by the way, in the first period. Not a lot of offensive happening for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And one really quick, really nice play by Sidney Crosby leads to a goal against for the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is, let's be honest, stinky. We're not fans. Unless you're part of the 42% of this chat that are Penguins fans, and then you're cool with it. Max Domi fighting behind the net for the puck. That's good. We want to see Max back on defensive assignments, and he's doing it. Yarncroke on Shea. Ryan Shea is able to get the puck past a couple of Leafs forwards, cycles it back out to Chris Letang. Letang's pass to Kindle was intercepted by the sticky Yarncroke. It bounced into the corner. Now back out to the Penguins' blue line. Letang is able to keep the puck in off of Novak. Passes. And Ryan Shea with a shot, and that puck might go in. They score. That's a bouncing puck. And I think that's Ben Kindle. Is this a batted out of the air puck? It did the field goal thing. I don't know if the ref called it. I don't know what the call on the ice was. I didn't see the ref point. And the Leafs can't clear the zone, man. It's so embarrassing. Jesse just said it in the chat too. I haven't seen the definitive call on the ice. That's the issue here. So Carlo gets it out. There's nobody at the wing. So it gets... So the puck is... Okay, so it's considered a goal, but they might review it. Stolarz probably should have had that in his glove, and it goes off of Kindle and in. So Kindle literally just bowling balled that. So the question will become, is it goaltender interference? How are they? I don't know how you don't call that goaltender interference, because Stolarz with his left hand dropped the puck out of his glove, but then gets shifted right by Kindle going for the puck. I have to think that that's goaltender interference. Hayden says if it also hit Kindle's glove, it might be no goal as well. I don't know where it hits him. Let's see. So he goes for the puck. He misses it. And then we can't see from this angle what happens. But what is clear is Kindle moves in on Stolarz. Now, I don't know. The way the rule's written is obviously there's gray area because he is going for the puck to make a play. But it sure seems like that would be textbook goaltender interference. Now, they keep showing the same angle. I need them to switch the angle. We can't tell if Kindle touches the puck as a high stick. I don't even know if that's what's being reviewed, to be honest with you. It might be the Leafs needing to challenge that. Confirmed as a goal on the ice. Will the Leafs challenge? I don't know how the Leafs haven't made a decision whether to challenge or not right now. Also, we're going to have a talk here soon about the Leafs goaltending because as bad as Caden Primo has been, Stolarz hasn't been that much better. You need to have that. This all starts when the Leafs can't clear, but it also starts because Stolarz does not clearly catch that puck. Leafs video review crew has been pretty damn good. We're still waiting. I'm assuming they're not challenging. If Kindle thinks he's got the goal, where does it hit him? Wait a second. And why are they starting the... Wait a second. So... Oh, we missed 12 seconds of gameplay? Oh, so they played a replay over the game. I'm like, why didn't this start at center ice? Because they'd already played. Okay, well, that's a good goal then. That's kind of nuts that that's not goaltender interference. It's a shame that Amazon only had that one angle. I would have loved to have seen it from the other side or especially over top. I would love to know. Again, I'd love to get some understanding on that goal, but like I don't blame the Penguins for that. I just feel like the Leafs can't friggin' clear the puck, man. I think they're bad. But they could be good. We're hoping that they will be good eventually. I am shocked that that wasn't challenged for goaltender interference. Am I crazy, guys? Like, can you tell me? I would love to know what the explanation for not challenging that would be. You know? Unless the argument could be made that Kindle had the puck because he tapped it out of the air, but then it was a high stick if he tapped it. Because it was over his shoulder. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. They think it's Ben Kindle, 4th goal of the season. Here comes Austin Matthews across the Leafs or across the neutral zone. Down to Robertson to Matthews and a great save by Tristan Jarry on the blocker side. 37 seconds to go. If there's a line that's looked dangerous for the Leafs tonight, it's been this one. It's been the Matthews line. And that's a good sign. They just haven't looked dangerous enough. What's that, Hayden? Hayden said that looked vintage. That's great. And that's coming from a non-Leaf fan. Hayden is a Wild fan. Hunter Grass said Penguins local broadcast had multiple angles. Amazon Prime did not. Yeah. That's so strange because Amazon's got a bazillion different camera angles too. I wonder maybe if they're now not if they were not in the running for the rights, the national rights, like they were presumed to be. Now they're kind of like, well, we don't have to spend as much money on hockey. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Let me tell you this. The Leafs defense sucks. They have surrendered the first goal in 7 of 8 games. So David Alter, by the way, is saying puck hits Riley's stick before going off Kindle's high stick and in. It's 2-0 Pittsburgh. Weird. All right. Wow. Okay. That's that was, guys. That was as soon as Steve showed up, that first period sucked. But until then, it was pretty low event. That's crazy. Hey, Hayden, we're going to take a quick break here. What clip do we have to play, my friend? All right. So listen, Marty Necas re-signed. We broke it down. We want to play that for you. And I'm going to be back to start the second period. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this. But I want to know more about why this was not a goaltender interference. That was crazy. We'll see you soon. I want to talk about the biggest signing in the league yesterday. Marty Necas, another guy off the free agency board for next summer, signs a massive extension with the Colorado Avalanche. This is 8 years, $92 million. That's 11 point. That's Nylander money. And he has been spectacular.
Yes.
He really has. Now, I want to phrase this question. I'm sure Avs fans are tired of hearing it, but the rest of us do want to have this discussion. Now, every time I bring this up, I need to slap people several times because everybody goes, Mikko Rantanen wanted $14 million. I am here to tell you for the last time that Mikko Rantanen, and I know this through several people, would have signed an extension with the Colorado Avalanche for less than Nathan MacKinnon. Might have been $100,000 less, but he would. That was his red line.
So 12.5.
12.5 he would have done. It never got there. His starting ask was 14. The Avs were at 10. And at that time, we have to remember this is a we know the salary cap is about to explode world. Yeah. Where the Avalanche are looking at Cale Makar's deal and going, well, shit, that's going to be a lot of money in 3 players. We wouldn't want to be the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Fuck.
And so I think we have to look at this. Here's what gets me about this scenario. Because I'm going to get to my question in a second. Mm-hmm. Mikko never wanted to leave. His agent knew that. And I have to ask the question of whether or not the agent mismanaged this. Because when he was traded, it was a shock. Which tells me that both sides were so disengaged in February or January. Jesse and I were at the Ivy conference when this happened. They trade to Carolina. Remember?
Yes.
We did a live stream right after it happened.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. We were in London for the Ivy conference with Mr. Alan Walsh. And I went to Jesse's hotel room and did a 20-minute live stream.
That was fun.
They were so disengaged at this point that Mikko Rantanen and his agent were shocked by the trade. They did not see it coming. They were playing hardball with the Avs. So I ask you this. 11.5 for Marty Necas, who wants to be there. He signed the deal. 12.5 for Mikko Rantanen, which is what it would have come out to. Okay. And he wanted to be there. Who do you take?
My God, Mikko Rantanen, what? What are the best playoff performers of his generation? Mikko Rantanen.
Jesse, is it the same answer?
1,000 times out of 1,000.
Yes. Yeah.
I wonder, because there was, and I know this too, there were 2 teams that Mikko Rantanen would have signed an extension with outside of Colorado.
Please don't.
Dallas and the Leafs. That is the truth. I know you don't want to hear it, but that is the truth. Is there any sort of regret either on Joe Sakic and company or Mikko Rantanen and his agent and company, Andy Scott, I believe is his agent? Is there any sort of regret on both sides when that deal was announced yesterday going, should have been moved?
I don't know about necessarily yesterday. I think it's spilt milk. I think everyone involved screwed that up. I think Rantanen screwed it up. I think his agent screwed it up. And I think the Avalanche screwed it up. But at the end of the day, the agent was representing a player who signed is that $100 million deal? Mm-hmm. Rantanen got $100 million.
And beat the Avs in the playoffs. Game 7 hat trick.
By losing, let's say, $500,000 a year, he lost $4 million. So he had to take a piddly 100 instead of 104.
Well, it's 92.
It's 90, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Who cares? Who gives a damn? Like, it's still boat money. Like, it's just unrelatable to the vast majority of humanity money. And I don't think he'll miss that money. He's going to be fine. I don't think the agent is going to miss it. You know, maybe a little hit to his reputation, but I think he's probably fine. And the Avalanche already don't have him. They already did they already did all that. They traded him. They got Nietzsche instead. They ended up playing him in the playoffs and they lost. You can't live life in the past. You have to go forward. They have Nietzsche. He's good. The going rate for a guy who scores the way he does is 11.5. You sign him.
Jesse.
One of the reasons that I'm not confident, but I thought the Hudson deal would get done is because this is how negotiations usually go. Everybody's far apart, and then they take their time, and over time, things come together, and they always get a deal done. With the Rantanen deal, it seemed like they didn't do the thing that usually happens with these big hockey contracts where you play it out, you get to June 30th, next day is July 1st, and he's like, okay, I'll take the deal. Or the Avs are like, okay, here's the money. That's usually how this thing plays out.
And I think that's what they were banking on.
But the risk is he just walks and you're dead.
Yeah, but there's always that risk.
I guess.
That you always face that possibility, and then you had a playoffs with Mikko Rantanen, and that was your risk. It's the same thing with Mitch Marner and all that, but I'll bring it back to that afterwards. Just to back up what Adam was saying about the contract, Pierre LeBrun wrote this in The Athletic when Rantanen was moved to Carolina and even before he was moved to Dallas. He said, my understanding is that Rantanen was willing to take less than what a July 1st market number looked like to stay in Colorado. But even so, his number was not in the same realm of as where the Avs were, meaning I don't think Rantanen was stuck at 14 million. He would have taken less to stay in Denver, but I would imagine even being around 12.6 million, McKinnon average annual value was seen as too much by the Avs. And when I hear that the Avs thought, you know, our bar is 12.6 for McKinnon, like anywhere in and around that number that says that from Pierre LeBrun, that's too much, but he's willing to come down. That sounds to me like a negotiation where the two sides are willing to move a little.
Yeah.
And if this had played out, because the trade happened in January, right? There was enough time where Rantanen probably would have just come down to stay in Colorado.
Jesse, you had a month till trade deadline even.
Yeah, and the Avs would have come up to keep him because they recognize what player that is. So I just think this is bad on both parts. And I guess it's more on the Avs because they pulled the trigger, right? It's on them to pull this thing in January and just say, hey, we're done. We want to guarantee we get something in return. And that's Nietzsche and everything's good. And I imagine at this point for the Avs and Avs fans, just to bring it full circle, it's like how people bring up Mitch Marner to you. Shut up. Like, we've moved on. Why are we talking about this? Rantanen isn't here. We're going to come up on a year in 2 months of this trade. We can move on. We have a new team. We played through the whole playoffs. Let's move forward.
Fans are allowed to poke fun at you and go, but that's not how you run a team.
Exactly.
So you just got to move forward.
Mm-hmm. In an alternate reality, I truly believe they get this done if they just wait it out.
The other thing with the Avs, I think you're probably right, but the elephant in the room with the Colorado Avalanche is like, think about this. When they were having contract negotiations with Mikko Rantanen, they were probably like, oh, and in a few years, we're going to have to give Cale Makar like 14.
That'd be great.
In a few years, you're going to have to give him 20.
That looked really good.
The report today is that if they can get him anywhere a penny even under Leon Draisaitl, which is 14 million, they will see that as a victory. You know what? He probably will, though. You know he probably will. NHL guys always accept less. McDavid making 12.5, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Always?
Well, except for Toronto. Toronto NHL guys do not.
How don't you just...
Hey, Tavares did, though. Tavares did. After his big contract, but still, he was free.
They make me sick.
Well, that era, they sure got their butts handed to them. So yeah, anyway, I wanted to leave it there. I think it's a win for the Avs. Nietzsche looks great. I don't think he's the same game breaker as Rantanen, but he's not paid the same as Rantanen either. And to me, the Avs are my cup pick already. Like, I think
he's a really good fit for them.
He is. I love this
crazy speed, like unmatchable.
Yeah,
speed.
but that whole team is amazing.
Yeah, but I'm saying like a speed 1-2 of McKinnon and Nietzsche.
Yeah.
Makar coming up the rear. Like, it's pretty good, man.
Yeah, it's rough. It's going to be rough to play them. And I know they're in 6th now. I would not be shocked to see them in the top 2, top 3 finishing the season. They're going to be just fine. Good old Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, but they're in the middle of Colorado-October.
Yeah.
Not as good as Oil-tober.
Not the middle. It's the end of Rocktober. So I tweeted when we oh, there's my timer saying I need to get back on the air. I tweeted when we went to break about this is insane. I'm like, now the whole city, as in Toronto, gets to wake up to how not great the Leafs have been this year, right? Hopefully a little more life in the second period. And the first response I get is, have they looked this bad all season? They have no life whatsoever. It feels a lot like the Pens under Sullivan last year. Yeah, they look like crap and they have no life. And that's a Penguins fan asking me that. This is going to be a storyline to watch all year. And it's not a question of, I don't think just yet. I don't think it's a question of whether Berube's lost the room or whatever. I don't think they found any line combinations that are working for them. Like, other than Tavares, Nylander, if you're like, it's so funny, like Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, whatever, whoever they're paired with, they're going to score. Matthews, traditionally, when he hasn't played with Marner, has scored a bunch. But this year, it just seems very weird for him. And it's strange to boil it down to just him on the goal scoring side. We can talk about the goaltending in a second. But it kind of is. Because, if he doesn't score, then Nyes is not getting a lot of assists. Tavares has scored at a good clip. Willie's been fighting an injury, but he's played well. I'm looking at if Matthews isn't getting a goal a game every 3 out of every 4 games, maybe that's a problem. You need him to be a 50 goal scorer. He has to be. That's part of how the team is going to be successful. This is rough. Hayden asked if I grabbed my poppy. I completely forgot to grab my poppy. Should I grab? I don't want to grab the poppy now. Should I grab it now? Okay, I'm going to grab it now. Give me a sec. I also got something else. Hang on. I'll be back. All right, by the way, so I got my poppy. Thought I'd bring this out too. This is legit from the Pittsburgh Penguins store, okay? So you can tell because it's got a Pittsburgh Penguins logo on it. I didn't go to the NHL store in downtown Toronto for this jersey out. I know I showed it off on the podcast, but some people are criticizing it. I'm like, you're wrong. Look how nice this is. How great is this jersey? It's absolutely beautiful. I love this jersey. I think the Penguins got this one right, man. Not easy to get a jersey right, but I think this one's good. I'm going to see if I can. Maybe I'll just put it over here. I got a chair. And I put it on the chair. Maybe you can sort of see this. I don't know if you can see that. Ow, I just poked myself with the poppy. Penguins jersey, super sick. I love these new ones, man. They're sick. All right. Somebody just called the Leafs the Blue Sabres. That's actually true, man. That's a really good one. Mike Schmidt, how are we feeling about the Amazon coverage of hockey now that we've had some time with it? Well, I've always liked it. I've always thought they did a good job. I was a little surprised there on the replay that they didn't have a little bit more for us in that second goal. But hey, what are you going to do? 23 Plaster says, hey, all, quick question. When the faceoff was in the Leaf zone after the goal that was reviewed, or why was the faceoff in the Leaf zone after it was reviewed also? Do you think the Leafs will be a 500 team? Yes, I think the Leafs will be a 500 team. Actually, I think they'll be better than a 500 team. Second, the reason that faceoff was in the Leaf zone was because the broadcast kind of screwed up, showed another replay, and the gameplay had already started. So I missed that too, and I had to have Hayden check me basically and say, hey, that's the reason why. Also, Canadian Girl 83 says, cheers to Justin. Thank you for the Penguins emoji. Lots of Penguins fans in the chat tonight. Yeah, so that they did miss, Amazon did miss a good chunk of that period, which has confused a lot of people in Canada because obviously we didn't get to see that. Yeah. It's not great, man. It's not a great start for the Leafs, let's be honest. You can't tune them up every game, but at a certain point, like sometimes teams make a trade because they gotta mix up the chemistry. This team needs a shock to the system, man. It's a bad start. It's a bad start, and you kind of need your emotional leaders to be your emotional leaders. And for the Leafs, I don't know who that is yet. I know they're trying to implement a new system with Derek Lalonde. I don't think that's worked out that well thus far. Their power play has stunk, but remember last year their power play stunk until December too. So I don't know. Also, I was very thirsty. Feel much better now. It would be nice though, like given that we just came off another crushing Toronto Game 7, it would be super cool if the Leafs could just give us a nice win here. Give us a nice next 40 minutes. Sloopins 982 says, ready for Brad to get Stamkos at half price for Robertson, Comp, and some assets. Only to have Robertson get more points than Stamkos does in Nashville. I don't think Stamkos is coming to the Leafs, guys. That would be a cap problem. That'd be an asset problem. I don't think that they have the money they could trade salary, I guess, but I don't think, Stamkos would be sick, believe me. He's also 36. And how long is he going to be that good? I don't know. Canadian Girl 83 dropping 10 SDPN memberships. I don't know what they're going to do. They need another top 6 guy. The Penguins before the season started were apparently selling Rust and Raquel, but who could ever know how expensive either of those guys would be? 23 Plaster says maybe there's too much pressure on the Leafs. Yeah, man. For the last month they've had no pressure and played like crap. Maybe they need more pressure. Like zero pressure the last month. They could have gone 0-7, 0-8. Nobody cared. They're like, whatever. It's been bad. And it's bad because they're better than this, right? It's not bad because they're bad. It's bad because it feels like they're not playing to their abilities. That has always, in this Matthews era, Matthews, Nylander, Marner, as soon as they got here, the teams from the beginning, I'm talking about the teams with Kadri and JVR and Bozak and Nikita Zaitsev, and Riley's been here the entire time. Those guys, all of them, all the way through, had games where they straight up just pulled the chute. And I don't think that they can do that anymore. I don't think they're talented enough to do that and get away with it. .30 seconds into the second period. Puck is in the Leaf zone. They are running around after it. The Penguins are moving quickly. And here's the thing. Remember what I told you about before the game? Leafs need to move quick, needing to look quick. They don't look quick when they're not making good passes. And they're not making good passes. They're looking like the slower team on the ice. Penguins are able to get that puck out of their zone with little to no pressure, nothing. Francois LaBelle says, Adam, I have to correct you from today's STP. Harry is 5th in line for the throne after William and his 3 children. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. 5th in line. I still think Harry and Meghan suck. Also, they were cheering for the Dodgers, and he's the royal family for Canada. Go F yourself, dude. Apparently, he's going on some sort of media tour of Canada this week, too. We're good. You don't need to be here. We don't need you here. 18:37 left in the second period. I'm not even I went on a big rant on this podcast. I know I can't get Jesse and Steve to care, but I still think it's kind of dumb. You want to act like a prince. Act like a prince. So Hayden says, who does Adam hate more, Meghan Markle and Harry or Pittsburgh Penguins and Kyle Dubas? I don't hate Kyle Dubas, and I've never hated the Penguins. Never. I just thought they were poorly run. And for the last 2 years, I was right. They made a bunch of bad signings. The team looked like shit. What do you want me to say? But Harry and Meghan, to me, are people, they're just like, it's just a different kind of grift, right? You guys are royals, but you don't want to be royals, but you go and you get production deals with Netflix and Spotify because you're royals. Like, it's not because you've got some great perspective or you worked out your way up from giving speeches, like, or acting. I mean, she was an actress. I understand that, but like, I just, you know what I'm saying? It feels like they jumped the queue a little bit. And they were able to do so because they're royals, not because they're interesting. That's a problem in entertainment. You got to be interesting. You could be famous and jump the queue, and that's fine. You could be a Nepo baby, whatever. You better be talented. You better be interesting. Oh, the Leafs with another terrible giveaway, and they almost had another goal scored on them. I think that was Blake Lizotte on that one. Cowan turns the puck back. He's looked strong tonight. Novak is able to break it up. Nylander along the boards with Rust. Tavares swings the puck back down and around. And the puck is all the way back down in the Leaf zone, and it is iced. No? Yes? It is iced. No rhythm. Explain the Kardashians. That's easy. They're interesting. They're not interesting anymore. Their time has passed. Their time has passed. Kardashians' time is over. But for a long time, they knew how to grab the public's attention. But they've kind of yielded that to guys like, to people like, I don't know, like Jake and Logan Paul. Like, you know what I mean? It's, you've got to be in that world where you're trying to grab headlines every day. You need to be doing outrageous shit all the time. And I think that gets exhausting and hard on families. And, you go through marriages and it's like, ugh. But that's what reality TV is, right? At that level. So I think the Kardashians are toast now. I don't think that brand's coming back. But they had a pretty damn good run. Made themselves billionaires multiple times over. Oliver Ekman-Larsson with the puck down to McCabe. Pass back up. Yarncroke fighting off Penn's defense for it. Defense comes up with it. Max Domi trying to get the puck off. Sammy Blais with a giveaway shot. And McCabe is able to block that with his stick and promptly give it right away to the Penguins, who gets it up to Witherspoon. Oh, man, the Leafs. I'm trying not to be too down on them, guys, but I'm not loving what I'm seeing right now. Not loving this at all. Ekman-Larsson cycles the puck back. Nobody there to get it. Frustrating. Like, the Penguins have come out in this period and dominated right from the start. The Leafs are not in this game right now. They're just not. Sustained offensive zone pressure by the Pens. Leafs are able to dump it without an icing, get a change, but Witherspoon's got the puck again. He's had a long shift. He's going to be looking to change here. Rust. Oh, Rust made a shot. Man, if Malkin was in the right spot, it would be 3-0 right now. Rust put it right across the net. Nobody in the Leafs intercepted. Ryan Shea, who's looked strong tonight, stick handling at the blue line. Stallers. Oh, Rust, who was in a lot of pain at the beginning of the first period, is now in a lot of pain again. And there was very little contact on him. I missed the play where he was hurt, but there were Penguins reporters tweeting about the fact that he was on the bench in a significant amount of pain. I'm just trying to look at here what happened. They're just, so Ryan Shea makes a move at the blue line. Malkin shoots the puck in. Rust is there, and I think he gets hit again. So I think he got hit by somebody or a puck, and he's just had one of those nights where you're just eating rubber. And it sucks, man. That's pain. He's in a lot of pain on the bench right now. He's not leaving. He'll just have a nice welt in the morning. Aiden says, how much does Evgeny Malkin make this offseason? Well, they're saying they're not bringing him back to Pittsburgh. I don't know. Like, a guy like that, with where the cap is, he's a centerman, lots of experience, multi-cup winner. Why wouldn't he get similar to what Pavelski got a few years ago? I know he's significantly older, but do you do a 2-year deal for $5-6 million bucks? Maybe more? Yeah. I mean, this guy's a special guy. And that's if the Penguins don't keep him, which they said they're not going to. But hey, man, if the Penguins go to the playoffs, all bets are off. Nylander dumps the puck in. There's nobody with him. Shea and Letang are able to cut him off, and off to the bench goes Nylander. Shot attempts right now are 33-13 from Pittsburgh. Shots actually registered are 12-5 in favor of Pittsburgh. So the Penguins are out-chancing the Leafs triple. There's something, we're a month into this season, there's something broken about the Leafs lineup. And I don't know if the fix is in the room or if the fix is a trade, but I think you've had a big enough sample size now. This is game, what, 14 for the Leafs? Something like that? Game 13 for the Leafs. It's not good enough, man. And they can't score. They cannot score. It's terrible. Brunik gets the puck up to Mantha. Pens have been able to gain the zone without much issue at all in the second period. It's really crazy to watch. Like, they're just walking all over the Leafs. Lizotte, Pickering. Leafs still hemmed into their own zone. Connor Dewar, former Leaf, fighting with Bobby McMahon and Blake Lizotte along the boards. Myers gets the puck to McMahon. McMahon does not have his stick, looking for one of the Penguin sticks. Carlson with a shot, saved by Anthony Stolarz. That shot was 97 miles an hour, according to the Amazon broadcast. That's crazy. Dakota Joshua is able to oh man, he can't even dump the puck deep. And that's an issue because obviously the Penguins are able to reload and the Leafs cannot get a change. Wow. Dakota Joshua was on the ice there for 1 minute and 48 seconds. That is where you dump the damn puck in, dude. What are you thinking? Woo! This team stinks. Cassie says, Pens are good, so here comes some injuries. A tale as old as time. Also, I'm sorry, Adam, but it's Wotherspoon, not Witherspoon. Okay, fair enough. Witherspoon. David Owens, do the Leafs have more shots or completed passes? David, that's a damn good question. Captain Aiden says, Dubas laughing at the Leafs right now. Buddy, I mean, it's about time he got to. It's been a pretty ugly couple of years for him since leaving Toronto. So I wouldn't blame him for taking some joy out of that. Hayden says this team is the anti-Blue Jays. How can you disagree with that? Of course it is. Burps McGurps is saying here, Berube's system maybe not a fit for this team, possibly. If they weren't a fit for this team, why did they win the division last year? They took the Panthers to 7 games in the second round. I'm sorry. It's not simply Marner leaving. There's something off here. Like there is something off here. You know, you can lose a player like Marner and still make the playoffs just fine. Happens all the time. I just think that maybe, first off, maybe the Penguins are good. I think maybe the Leafs are stinky, man. And I think maybe they don't have the heart and soul that we're hoping that they have. Trevor 2114 says, clearly they're missing Pontus Holmberg. You know what? Hard to disagree. Maybe he was the straw that stirred the drink. Francois Lebel dropping 5 STPN memberships. J-Max says, hate to say this, but Pete DeBoer needs a job. You're not moving on from Berube. They're big fans of Berube in the organization. I don't think Berube is the problem here. Donnie 9739 says, is this comparable to the 1920 season? If you guys forgot that, it's because COVID interrupted it. But the Leafs were a listless, crappy team with Babcock. And then they fired him 20 games into the year. And then the next 20 games were good. And then they started to suck again. And they lost to a Zamboni driver. And then COVID hit. That team was a mess. And then they lost to Columbus the next summer in the bubble. And I think retrospectively, the issue we have is that a lot of the DNA of that team is still around, and they were able to gloss over a lot of it because they had a lot of talent. They don't have as much talent now. I don't think they're able to get away with this bullshit anymore. And goaltending is struggling. Did the Leafs get rid of too many vibes guys in the locker room? Is team starting to watch? This team is looking like a newborn deer trying to walk. No, I don't think there was I think the problem with the Leafs in the past there wasn't enough vibes guys. Who were the vibes guys they got rid of? Like Ryan Reeves? Nah, I don't think so. I think that doesn't account for they're just bad and not trying. You have to want it, guys. You have to want it. Look at the way the Penguins are playing. They're rejuvenated. They're excited. It's innate. It's a part of how they play and carry themselves. Now, here comes Robertson to Cowan, two of the younger players on this team. Cowan intercepted by Letang, but they're still fighting for it along the boards. Tavares misses it as it goes by him on the boards, and out come the Penguins again. Benoit and Myers out there mid-change. Robertson is going to carry the puck across center again. We'll see if he gets a shot, and he does, and he misses the net, but it was a good one, a little sneaky. Cowan out there now with Max Domi. I don't know if Berube's mixing the lineup here, what we're doing. Cowan is going off, but it looks like Sammy Blais, Max Domi, and probably Calle Jarnkrok are going to hook up here. Blais with a nice pass to Jarnkrok, flips it into the Penguin zone. He trips on Ryan Shea. Ryan Shea fighting Max Domi and Calle Jarnkrok for the puck. 11:22 left in the second period. And the Leafs get an icing in their favor because they actually created some offensive zone pressure. How about that? How about that? Nashman 2002. I hate to say it, but Matthews might be the Eastern Elias Pettersson. I think that's a stretch. Like, Matthews still wasn't he on pace for like 90 points last year? Pettersson has not been anywhere close to that. Burps McGurp said Berube had a great first year with St. Louis too. Maybe he's a one-year system guy. Don't you think the Leafs need a higher event system? I don't know what they need right now. I don't know. So I just heard on the broadcast, the Leafs have 5 shots right now. Only 2 of them are by forwards, and William Nylander just got the 3rd right there. So 3 of the shots come from their defense, 3 of the shots come from their forward. That is sad and pathetic. What a pathetic group right now. 10:46 left in the second period. This game feels long and late, and it's almost 9 o'clock. They also started this at 7:47, made us wait for this trash. It's just terrible. Shots are 15-6. I hope they show the scoring chances again because, damn, dude, this is rough. Phenom 34 look happy to be a Leaf, or is he playing out the final couple of years on his short-term deal? Time for a major shakeup? No. I think Matthews is fine. He's got 3 more years left. I think that's fine. By the way, if you're a captain and you're making 13.25 and there's even a whiff of you quitting on the team, shouldn't be captain. And I don't think there's any whiff of that. I just think he's struggling. Airpay says, how crazy is it to say that the Habs could add a major deadline addition and contend for the division? Not crazy at all. I think the Habs right now are, and nobody's going to want to hear this, I think they're one-line-ish territory. Their power play is amazing. They need a centerman to play with Demidov. They got to move some of these guys down. They're not, like, no disrespect to Oliver Kapanen and Alex Newhook, some of these guys, Kirby Dach, whatever. You need a legitimate second-line center who's going to set Demidov up for the next few years. Cassie says, I don't know. From an outside perspective, it seems like a mentality issue. It's like the Penguins last year. Every time something goes wrong, you can just see them visibly deflate, and really they don't fight back. Cassie, could not agree with you more. I think it's 100% a mentality issue. That's what's so damn frustrating. These guys have the talent. We know they've got the talent. The team hasn't changed that much since last year. And they didn't add a bunch of bum losers. They added good players. They just haven't been able to put it together yet. And they look a little slow and frustrated and, I don't know, maybe a little down on themselves. What are the scoring chances right now, Hayden? That's weird because the scoring chances on the Amazon broadcast were almost double that for both teams. So Natural Stat Trick has the scoring chances at 19-5 for the Penguins, which they just had a nice shot there. So that'd be 20-5 now. The Amazon broadcast had, I think it was shooting chances I was looking for, Hayden, not scoring. But either way, 19-5, 20-5, and the Leafs just took a penalty. That's a problem. Brad Newsberry. Hey, Adam, are you regretting all the blasphemous Crosby trade talk yet? Not even a little bit. I still think he gets moved. If the Penguins fall, I think he gets moved. If they make the playoffs, of course they're going to hang on to him. Will Flynn says, surprised to be saying this, but Berube is probably done as he has no answers to get this group going. Guys, it's a month into the season. Mike Babcock got 3 first-round exits and a terrible 20-game start to his season before he was let go. Do you think the Leafs just willy-nilly let a coach go like that? No. You can't let these guys off the hook. You can't. Now, maybe Berube is part of the problem. He's a part of the management group, so he is a part of the problem. But I don't think that you can just be like, okay, well, we'll fire the coach and then we'll see what happens. No. And also, I hate to say this. I know everybody's looking at Pete DeBoer. Have you guys stopped to consider that nobody likes Pete DeBoer? Like no player likes Pete DeBoer. And maybe that's not what's at issue here. You don't always need to love your boss, but the way he handled the Ottinger situation last year that got him fired, I don't know. I don't think that makes him a great fit right now. Bill Monroe makes a good point, and he's right. Treliving teams tend to alternate good and bad years. That is true. That is true. I think you got to remember, too, what happened in Calgary, right? Like, Treliving wanted to do certain things, and ownership wouldn't let him do it. So then he resigned, and they got mad at him for resigning and then said, you can't go work for somebody else until after the draft is over, blah, blah, blah. Like, you have to remember how much ownership and presidential interference there was in Calgary. And I know he takes a lot of shit for it, and he should, right? But part of the reason that Gaudreau and Tkachuk remained unsigned as late as they did is because ownership wouldn't go to the table with Gaudreau with a proper offer. And then they did like several hours before free agency was supposed to start. And he said, no, if you'd offered me this last summer, I would have signed it, but I'm not doing it now. I've made the decision. I'm moving on. Ceci says, this is the hardest Leaf team to watch since 2008. I don't know, man. That 2013, 2014 team was pretty friggin' painful. Gonna need the Leafs to kill this one. Otherwise, this game might be effectively over. Like, this is a sad and pathetic performance as it is. For Myers to take that penalty, that just kind of sucks. Ben Kindle's looked really dangerous tonight. Carlson's been extremely dangerous on the power play all year. He's done a great job running it for the Pens. And by the way, remember what I told you at the beginning of the game? This is where the Pens win games. Special teams. Their shorthanded's been really strong. Their power play is top 5 in the league. There's Kindle with a shot. Stoley's able to able to stop that. Kindle's stick broke, so I don't think he got exactly what he wanted. Leafs power PK, by the way, is 10th in the league. So you have to think they got a chance here, but the Penguins actually are 2nd in the league in power play. Yuck. Look at that. Kindle with a shot, and he scores. What a shot, Ben Kindle. This friggin' kid, that's his 5th goal of the season, 2nd goal tonight. Wow. Damn. Wow. I mean, what do you say? What do you say? I mean, he's been great. What do you say about the Leafs, though? Look at Kindle's shot here. It's nice and low, too. They are fighting for it. He had to go to the bench after a shot, get a new stick. Trainer gets it for him. Oh, okay. So here we go. Where's Kindle here? I want to see this Kindle shot. They're about to replay it. Malkin sets it up. He's wide open shot, and he beats Stoller's blocker side, short side. Yucca. Oh, man. Man, that was rough. Eight minutes to go in the second period. Oh! Big run-in behind the Leafs net between Blais and a Pittsburgh Penguin. Both okay. It looked kind of dangerous for Blais. I don't think it was a dirty play. I just think he fell weird. Leafs getting nothing going on the offensive side, which means they're going to have to try to cheat for offense in the third period. Yukon Luke, which Rachel's Raider will have a breakout year at Easter Seals this year? I'm going to go with producer Hayden, who's actually a pretty damn good hockey player. You think producer Maddie? That's what Hayden says. Hayden says producer Maddie. Man, so the Leafs are in the unenviable position of having both goaltenders struggle and their offense struggle at the same time. Woo! There's a challenge. What are we going to do? Hey, at least, the last time the Leafs were bad, that's when the Steve Dangle podcast started. Oh, man. Stoller's just fumbled an easy cover-up shot, too. Didn't go in, but yuck. We made jokes about it. And I think we're going to have to start to do that again. The shots are 19-6. So the Penguins could divide their shots by 3 and they'd still have more shots than the Leafs. They stink. People are asking about Joseph Woll. Listen, Joseph Woll is back, but he's not ready. He doesn't just step back on the ice and go bang him an NHL goalie. He's going to need a couple weeks to get back up to speed. So this is interesting. Chris Pronger said, the struggle of having a more talented team in years past and thinking you still do, they need to reimagine their identity. That's what I keep saying. They're not as talented as they used to be. They used to be able to get away with shit that they can't get away with anymore. They're not as good. You got to work harder than this. And they're not working hard. This is not hard work. This is guys just putting in shifts. By the way, I missed a couple super chats there. I will get to them at the commercial break here. It's coming up. Wotherspoon with the shot. Malkin and McCabe getting into it at the side of the net. I like this. Old man battle. At least McCabe always shows some spirit, man. When the Leafs look like dog shit, he's always there. Cassie says, what is a vampire's favorite ice cream flavor? And then follows it up with vanilla. Cassie, we can only accept Christmas jokes here now. We are officially in Christmas season. Renenpox X says, Steve was right. Watching the Leafs this year is a chore. You betcha. And get ready. You're going to be doing chores all season long until they figure this out. Hi, Canadian SOI says, the Leafs are on track for 11 shots in the entire game. Woohoo! Yeah! Experience Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. I'm going to have to get a coffee. My throat's a little dry. Cassie says Kindle is now tied for the rookie lead in goals with Matthew Schaefer of the New York Islanders. Good for him. Dan Patrick says, I hope everyone's happy for forcing Marner out. This team's not making the playoffs because of it. Dan, he was leaving anyway, dude. Forcing Marner out. This guy's like 30 years old. Oh, we forced him out? Guys, I'm so sick of that shit. Such a dumb take. Sorry, no disrespect, man, but that's a bad take. The guy was leaving 2.5 years ago. Enough, man. It's crazy. He didn't want to play here. He doesn't like us. It's okay. Move on. Deal with what you have. Matthews with a shot. Finally, the Leafs get their 7th shot of the game. I don't know what you have to do I don't know how many times you need to shake people to say he doesn't like you. It's not the media. It's not the fans. He doesn't want to be here anymore. I don't know what you have to say. What do they call it? It's called a breakup because it's broken. It's Renimpmon. The X is silent. You can call me Rennie. All right, Rennie. You gotcha. Buck says Matthews is washed. 2 goals at 5-on-5 in 190 minutes and ranks 15 on the Leafs for relative expected goals. Has not been good since 23-24. You know what, Buck? I don't disagree. It's been last year, I can't name one game where Austin Matthews was crazy dominant. In the 23-24 season, it happened all the time. Now, he is apparently 100% healthy. So what's the problem? You can't tell me it's Marner. It's not Marner. He can do this without Marner. Otherwise, he's not worth $13 million. I just don't. I also think the problem with the Leafs is partially goaltending, partially implementation of this new Derek Lalonde defensive system. They play a lot like the Detroit Red Wings did the last few years. And the Red Wings, I don't know if you guys know this, sucked. Now, Derek Lalonde was the defensive coach during the Tampa Bay Lightning's really special years where they were winning cups. But he also had some pretty good horses like Hedman and McDonough and Cernak and all these great players. Like I think Luke Shen was there and he was good. Like I don't know that Sergachev. I don't know that the Leafs have that kind of talent. Oh, boy, this Leafs team can't clear a damn thing. Sammy Blais was able to block an Erik Karlsson shot there. It looks like the Pens are on the power play. They're not. They're just better. Wow. The Leafs are so completely outmatched. Their mid-change. Check out the line on the ice right now. Tavares, Robertson, and Blais. What line is that? That's 3 different lines. What the hell is happening? Are they blending the lines? Is that what they're doing? Switching things up? Tavares moves in, passes the puck across the ice to McMahon, and McMahon misses the net. McMahon, by the way, is ice cold. This is his 9th game with no points. 0 goals, 0 assists. Non-factor. Put the puck on the net, Bobby. Phenom says, if you're right, Adam, and everybody knew Marner didn't want to be in Toronto, then why wasn't he traded for proper value? Because he had a no-move clause. And he said, I'm not going to be traded mid-season. My wife's pregnant. Come on, guys. We've been on over this 40 fucking times. Are we serious right now? He made the decision well before it happened. Okay? And that's okay. He's allowed to do that. But to say that like he was forced out by the fans and media, then he's not strong enough to be here. Like I don't know what to tell you, man. It's such a weird take. It's so weird. It's so strange to me. We treat this guy like he's a child. He's not. He's a dad. Mitch Marner has a child. He makes his own decisions. He's going to make $150, $200 million over the course of his career. And we're the bad guy? Fans? Give me a break, man. I can't do this. 23 Plaster says, we keep expecting Matthews to come back, but what if the problem is the wrist? Fully healthy, but the injury took its toll and he just can't do it anymore. Well, okay, one thing I will say is I think you might have a point there because it might be, it's one of those things. The question is, clearly there's an issue now, but is it a temporary issue or is it an issue that is now sustained and that's going to be the way it is for the rest of his life? Because I remember when John Tavares, remember when in the Leafs Habs series in 2021, when Corey Perry accidentally kneed John Tavares in the head. And then the next year, everybody's like, oh, Tavares is washed. He stinks. He's bad, whatever. Well, he was coming off some pretty severe head trauma. It took him a good part of the summer to even get back into playing shape because he was so messed up. And then the following season, so not 21-22, but 22-23, he had a great year, a renaissance year. People were like, wow, John Tavares is back. Well, yeah, he had some time. Now, with Matthews, what I thought was interesting was they knew he had a problem coming out of training camp last year. He missed all of November. Then in January, he started playing again to get ready for the Four Nations. He played at the Four Nations, played pretty good there. And then when the Leafs season ended in early May, they were talking about how, well, Matthews will be healthy by the beginning of next season. And I remember saying at the time, okay, so the beginning of next season, or at least the beginning of training camp, is in mid-September, early September even. So you've got May to June, June to July, July to August, August to September. That's 4 months. If the Leafs had sat, my proposition was the Leafs had sat Matthews from January to mid-March. If that was what was going to make him fully healthy, they should have sat him during the season last year. But I think you have a good point. And what I'm getting to is the fact that the Leafs did not sit him for that because they knew that, frankly, they had to manage the injury, and that was the best it was going to do. But now I'm wondering, okay, well, the extra 4 months that he got in the summertime, Penguins almost scored there on the power play. The extra 4 months he got, he still doesn't look very good. So is this a permanent situation? If it is, by the way, I love this. Did Adam personally force Mitch Marner out of Toronto? Yes, he certainly did. No, but maybe? Guys, this isn't a Mitch problem. Leave Mitch in the past. It's over. This team's talented. They just are not putting it together. And I don't know if they ever will. 23 Plaster says, where are you? Where are you? Says, hey, quick question. Oh, you already did that one. We already did that one. Where was there another one there? Did I miss another super chat? Rennie says, my love for Marner was finally lost when Steve told us that story about the security detail treatment of Steve and y'all. Don't worry about that. I don't mind that. Listen, like, our job is to criticize players. It's to compliment them when they do well. It's to criticize them when they don't. And when you do that, when you mouth off, you're going to get angry responses from people who are associated with players from time to time. Part of the job. I look at that and I go, okay. I think it's one of those things where, I don't know, somebody was mad on his behalf. Somebody loves him. It surprised me at the time because it happened to me too, but it wasn't like I'm not dying. It won't be the last time I hear from somebody who's mad. Most of the time, it's just fans of other teams. And I get a lot of angry Leaf fans messages when I say they stink, but they do stink this year. I do think ultimately that the person meant well and the execution was poor. Does that make sense? Alex says, the Leafs are the Cleveland Browns of the NHL right now. Man, you'll find no disagreement here. By the way, Penguins back to outshooting them triple, 24-8. Anybody can divide. That's exactly 3 times. I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear what Berube's got to say about these guys after this game. And I can't wait to hear what Steve is going to do and the LFR, because this period, especially, I think they came into this period with 5 shots. They've now added 3 to that total. Meanwhile, the Penguins have added at least 14, probably more. And the Leafs, by the way, you're wondering, how come the Leafs haven't been on the power play? They have been on the power play. You just haven't noticed it because it's been bad. We had 26 seconds left to go. Full strength. Nylander is on the ice. There is no excitement about this Leafs team. Nothing. Nylander makes a wimpy little shot. It misses Tristan Jarry. By the way, Tristan Jarry is going to get a shutout for doing next to nothing. This is the easiest game of his career so far. Stolarz throws the puck down the ice to Nylander, to Wah, who was tripped. And there is no call on that. And the fans are booing it. Hey, at least they got something to talk about. Woo! Man, the Penguins look great. The Leafs looks like stinky caca. And it's all because they don't have Mitch Marner. No, it's not. One T City says, let's bring it up. Who are your top 5 most likable Leafs? Right now? Like right now or ever? Yeah, so Hayden said, do you say Matthew Nyes 5 times? I would say Simon Benoit, Matthew Nyes. I like John Tavares a lot. You can't hate on John Tavares. I like Jake McCabe a lot. I think he's a likable guy because he always tries. And Easton Cowan because he's young and excitable. See how hard I didn't think about that? By the way, even Amazon Prime just started their intermission with the Leafs have done nothing. They've gained nothing. They've done nothing. Shot attempts 16-3 in the first period for the Leafs. Shot 16-3 in the second period for the Pens. The Pens outshot attempted the Leafs 34-7. So shot attempts 34-7, actual registered shots 16-3. What an embarrassment. Can you believe, Hayden, do me a favor before we go to break. Go to Ticketmaster, look up how much the Leafs, you probably can't look up tonight's game. Let's look up how much it costs to go to the next game, whenever that is. They're on a 6-game homestand. So it's Wednesday versus the Utah Mammoth. Can you? You can't still buy tickets tonight. What do you got against Utah? A section? Give me the cheap seats. Give me the cheapest seats you can find for Leafs Mammoth. Standing room only. $85 for standing room, no seat. $85 plus a $15 Ticketmaster fee because they're thieves. Can you believe that? Standing room! $100 for one? Buddy, get out of here. I paid, by the way, in Pittsburgh for a much better product. I paid well, my stepdad bought the tickets because he's the man. But he paid $130. And that was in the second, that was on the first deck. And oh my God, it's just, buddy, the Mammoth are so good this year too. The Leafs are going to get run over by the Mammoth if they're playing like this. This is bad all the way around, dude. All the way around. What do you got for me, Hayden? Yeah. Standing room only for the Bruins is what? For the Bruins. Oh, well, that's Saturday though, right? Oh yeah. So the Leafs have dynamic ticket pricing. So for the Leafs Bruins game, it's $200 for standing room. That's Canadian. So that's like $140 American. For standing room, that'll get you lower bowl to see the Penguins. Again, a much better product. By the way, I just got a text from Frank Corrado, and he just writes, "Yikes, Leafs." Sorry, Frank, I'm blowing up your spot. Let's play the clip. What clip are we playing? I got to come back here. I got to collect my thoughts. I got to get a coffee, and we got to strap in for what could be the worst third period we've ever seen. Are you ready? You going to do it with me? We're having some fun, man. Listen, if the Leafs are going to suck this year, we are going down with the ship and having a damn good time because this is Gripper Nation, baby. This is what we do. Hayden, what are we playing? Oh, wow. Hey, you want to see some good stuff? You got Steve Dangle, and you got the best prospects in the OHL in an OL video. You guys should check these out. They're amazing. Go ahead, play it.
Oh, wow. Hello, friends. Steve Dangle here, and welcome to another episode of Oh, Wow, where we take a look at the best from around the Ontario Hockey League over the past week. And we'll start red hot. One of my favorite clips from this past week, Ottawa 67s. Home ice. It's a school day game in overtime, and it's a penalty shot. Here's Nick Whitehead.
And the 67s break away. Here's Nick Whitehead, partially in behind the D. Whitehead in, shoots, and there's a penalty call coming up. We have a penalty shot in overtime. 34.5 seconds left. And on his goal line, whistle blows. Whitehead slowly out to his left. Whitehead, stick handling, crouches down, starts to move back towards the middle of the ice. Loses the puck. Whitehead to the backhand. He scores. Nick Whitehead ends it with a penalty shot goal. 67s win 4-3.
That has to be an unreal feeling. Not just the game winner, not just an overtime, not just a penalty shot, but the school day game is special if you've ever been to one. First of all, it's the most ear-splitting experience you will ever have in your entire life. I had it when I visited the Toronto Marlies. I had it when I worked for the Mississauga Steelheads. Anyone who's ever been to a school day game, or also accept the teddy bear toss, knows how ear-splitting it can be. You win it in overtime and they lose their minds? Oh, wow. Love the slow approach, then speeding up at the end. Nick Whitehead is having himself a season. 32 points in 65 games last season, a hair under half a point a game. Right now, he's got 5 goals. He only had 9 last year. 7 assists and 12 points in just 14 games. Not bad for the Orlando, Florida native, Nick Whitehead. Oh, wow. Staying with the theme of overtime winners, Kayshawn Aitchison of the Barrie Colts is adrenaline personified.
Goldwyn holds up on the left wing side, rotates out high. Goldwyn keeps on moving, drops it off to Hemming, watched by O'Brien. Little pick play there by Aitchison, who gets it in front and scores. Kayshawn Aitchison threw the pick and ended up with the puck.
Well, that was very basketball-esque.
So there's one. Now watch the second one. He'll come over and get O'Brien on the way by. Right there.
The pick, there's the roll, back of the net. Well executed.
Dude, tell me anything about that goal. Where'd he come from? Where'd the shot go? No, you were only paying attention to the selling. Kayshawn Aitchison has 8 goals and 6 assists for 14 points in 14 games. He plays defense, by the way. Oh, that's why the Islanders selected him 17th overall at this past June's NHL draft. He is one of my favorite players in all of junior hockey. That goal and that reaction is exactly why. Kayshawn Aitchison, oh wow. All right, what do we got next? It says something from the Peterborough Petes. Who, these guys? Dylan Leestack reminding us all, if you're a goaltender, tend the oh!
Blonda with it. We'll clear it in again. Leestack not able to make that stop on it. It's got to get back. Dump the check. I'm not sure if we can.
Okay, here we go. We've
that.
got
Okay.
that God shot.
Stops at the side of the net, and then he realizes I've got to get back in there. There's the red line. No, I don't think it went in.
No, that's a no goal.
Never mind. Never mind. If you're a goaltender, do whatever you want. That's what I always say. That is hilarious stuff. Dylan Leestack misplays the puck. It's a blooper, and it turns into one of our best highlights of the week. I don't care if you call it flying or falling with style. Dylan Leestack. Oh, wow. For our next highlight, this is one of my favorite players in the league. Wait, I already said that this video. Well, he is! Ethan Belchetz of the Windsor Spitfires. This is, as they say, a goal scorer's goal.
We'll have all 3 in the lineup as the season goes. Belchetz back in over the line. Long reach. Turns, fires, scores. What a goal scorer's goal from Ethan Belchetz.
Oh, wow. Dude, every time I see this guy, I can't wrap my head around he's not draft eligible yet. He's still only 17. This guy is 6'5", 226 pounds, and has 12 points in 15 games. Kidding. That would be impressive. He has 12 goals in 15 games, 19 points. He had 17 goals in 56 games all of last year. I think he's better, actually. You need to remember the name, and it's, dude, even if you don't remember the name, you will know his name. Ethan Belchetz. Oh, wow. Next highlight, it's actually a twofer. And I think you deserve this after a long week. Here's Kieran Walton, just ripping the thing.
Rye was able to cover that corner. Score!
It wasn't the first attempt on that power play marker or even the second attempt on that power play marker.
I'd missed. And here's Kieran Walton. Walton scores!
Wow. Kieran Walton of the Sudbury Wolves is a Winnipeg Jets prospect, and you know it's good because the Winnipeg Jets don't have enough pure goal scorers. That's a joke, you see. That is one of the most pure shots in junior hockey. Like, just what a ridiculous rip. Kieran Walton, by the way, somehow bigger than Ethan Belchetz. Well, he's taller and a little lighter. He's 6'6", 216. We featured him in Oh Wow a few times. I do not understand what everyone was missing. He was a 6th round pick, 187th overall in 2024. People thought there were 186 players better than Kieran Walton in 2024, and I don't think they were correct, actually. In 9 games, he has 9 goals and 8 assists. Forget a goal a game. He's almost an assist per game as well for 17 points. Set a career high with 38 goals and 92 points last season, and he's trying to beat that. He's well on his way. Kieran Walton. Oh, wow. For a final highlight in oh, wow, sometimes you just have to appreciate the all-out effort in a good shot block. Here's McGregor Richmond of the Brampton Steelheads.
Along the half wall, back to the point. Rumo walks in, sets up Morelli. His shot jammed off the post, and Amidovsky sends it wide in a great block by Richmond, by Nathan Amidovsky, who was staring at a wide open cage. The only thing in his way was the stick of McGregor Richmond.
You were watching the screen trying to figure out who it was, weren't you? Sacrificed everything. His body, his stick got exploded. McGregor Richmond is having a season in Brampton. Last season, he set a career high with 13 points. Obviously not a barn burner. He's already got 5 points in 8 games, and I think that should count as a goal because he prevented one. Like, that thing is going in, except he was there to save the day. McGregor Richmond. Oh, wow. So, what do you think of this week's edition of Oh, Wow? Did we miss anything? Let us know in the comments down below. But for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching this week's edition of Oh, Wow. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell your friends. SDPN is your source for all things OHL.
I spent the entire 8 minutes there answering text messages from people texting me going, what the hell is this? Oh my God. Ah. Wow, they're bad. Listen, I happen to know that Craig Berube is a big fan favorite with that head office. Okay. I don't think Craig Berube would be the one under threat. But if the Leafs continue this, let's say this, because this start has sucked. And I'll tell you from my sources are pretty good on this one, that not Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, but above them, the parent company, Rogers, is not happy about how this has started. But the World Series was happening, and they were probably focused on that. They will watch this very closely. And I want you to understand the way this all works in Toronto, because if you're a Pittsburgh fan, you're no stranger to shitty owners with that Pirates owner. Oh, my God. Ed Rogers' dad, Ted, was an animal. He was a crazy businessman who just scrapes with death after scrapes with business death, right? Like crazy. But he made it, and he made a multi-billion-dollar telecom company, and he was ultimately a visionary. Created Rogers. His son, Ed, has now taken control of this, not just from, his dad passing away 15 years ago, but also from the family and the family trust. Ed is in control of all of it. And he believes that for him to cement his own legacy in Toronto and in Canada, it's going to be championships. It's going to be championships, not for the Blue Jays, not just for the Blue Jays, which they are trying to do. Championships for the Raptors, championships for the Leafs, and TFC too. But the two major priorities in that, because the Raptors already won in 2019, are the Blue Jays and the Leafs. And if you think about it, in Toronto, it kind of makes sense, right? They're the longest teams outside of the Argonauts. And the CFL is just not on the same level as like a national sport or international sport like NBA and NHL. And so the Rogers execs are watching this, and they hate this. They don't want to be a joke. They were just as embarrassed and pissed off as you were during Games 5 and Game 7, and they were told, we can make this team better. I'm telling you, man, there will be changes, and the changes will be swift. They're not going to wait. This is not going to be slow like it was in the Shanny years. They have to make, the thing about making mistakes is you need to make them quickly. And if I'll give Rogers credit on anything, when they make mistakes, they make them quickly. And that means you correct quickly. Now, Whodat 024 says, Forgetting his name, my kids are watching K-pop Demon Hunters, second time today. Oh, God. God help you. While I listen to the stream, what does Everly have on repeat lately? She loves Monster High. Loves Monster High. When is Laguna Blue for Halloween? And she also loves Is It Cake, which has a lot of great Halloween episodes, but they also have some Christmas episodes, too. Is It Cake on Netflix? Great for kids. They absolutely love it. Ryu says, man, still making record profits. Rogers. That's not how they look at it. Maybe when it was the pension plan puppets, yes. When Bell owned the team, partially, yes, Bell didn't care. Rogers cares because the guy at the top cares. Sure, text me away. Adam Niclario says, curious what you think the real problem is. Well, I don't think it's one thing. I think it's bad goaltending. It's your best player can't score. And I think this team has had a mentality for years that they don't have to play 60 minutes of hockey. And if you think back, they never did. They never played 60 minutes of hockey. How many blowouts, true blowouts, did the Leafs successfully create in the regular season? There were none in the playoffs. There was like no blowouts in the playoffs. They were never fully ahead, foot on the neck of the opponent, ever, ever, ever. And now that Marner is gone, and Phenom, I know you're out there, your team is not as good. So your players need to play 60 minutes of hockey in order to win. You know who plays 60 minutes of hockey? The recently bad Pittsburgh Penguins, the recently bad Anaheim Ducks, the recently bad Detroit Red Wings, and the recently bad Montreal Canadiens. And to get wins early and not bleed points early, which really hurts you come playoff time, you got to play 60 minutes start of the year. The team is not good like the Edmonton Oilers that can just snap into place and make it happen because they have two otherworldly talents. They have two great talents in Matthews and Nylander. But is Matthews a diminished talent now? Is he forever injured? Is this ever going to turn around? We don't know. So they look slow. They look bad. They look discombobulated. I don't know. By the way, Ben Kindle, what a friggin' night this kid's having. He looks amazing out there. What a great draft pick for the Pittsburgh Penguins, who could have sent him back to the WHL. He was too damn good, man. I love stories like that. How can you not love this year's Penguins so far? And I have hated the Penguins for basically since Dubas got there. I thought they were really bad. Never hated the team. Definitely love the city. My mom's from Pittsburgh. But I'll tell you, I thought that they were poorly constructed, and they were. And look at them now. They're great. Wow. More points. Crosby, Malkin, and Letang have more points than the total rosters of Vancouver, Anaheim, Montreal, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Calgary, San Jose, Chicago, Columbus, Seattle, and Utah. Oh, my God. Man, I should have just drafted a bunch of Penguins in my fantasy. I got one, though. I got Carlson. Crazy. Phenom, I love you, Adam. When I talk Marner, my issue is how management handled it. I think we could have learned from it, and 34 could play out even worse. Phenom, you're not wrong. The problem with Marner starts when they sign him to that contract, and it wasn't the contract necessarily that was the issue. It was the no-trade clause in the last 2 years of it. And Shanahan said to Dubas, and this is why Dubas got fired, we are not trading Marner. And Dubas was saying, we're going to need to make a change. And Shanahan was like, no, we're not. So if we blow this era, if this is the end of this era, I don't think it is. I think they're in for probably a retool. Then, dude, I mean, you have to blame management first. And, of course, Marner didn't want to be here anymore. I think you get tired of the failure and the things that are said about you when you fail. But he did fail. And Marner did not step up in the playoffs. Sorry, he didn't. He might have an all-world run with the Vegas Golden Knights. But let's be honest, when it comes down to just him, he can't do it. He's going to need guys around him. The Leafs were not the right guys around him. Anyway, long story short, that's my piece on Marner. And for the Leafs that are here, all of them are better than this. All of them. Bobby McMahon just created a shot. God bless him. There we go. The Leafs might get to double digits in shots. Oh, no, they did. That was the Leafs' 10th shot. Everybody, the Leafs are now at 10 shots. This is terrible. And I mean, terrible in an illustrative way. Everything about the Leafs is bad right now. They can't score, they can't generate opportunities, they can't defend, and they can't stop a puck. All of them are bad. The other way to look at this, do you want me to go glass half full here? It can get better. If all of those things get slightly better, well, then you might have a good team. I just don't know how they get better. Oh, man. Wow. Really? Hey, so I'm in the sorry, I'm just sending a message through. Yeah, so Hayden just pointed out that the broadcast, which I haven't been listening to a lot, has been praising Stollers, and I think they're not wrong. Like 3 goals on 27 shots isn't so bad. I didn't like the first Kindle goal where he kind of misplays it, but other than that, 3 goals on 27 shots is not a bad game for a goalie. That's close to a 900 save percentage. It's not a great game, but he's made some unbelievable saves, and they're showing that. Dennis Rushalis says, haven't kept up with the Leafs lately due to the Jays, and my team swimming in mediocrity and bandages. But how is Dakota Joshua doing? Much love from Van. Dennis, Dakota Joshua has looked okay. He hasn't looked like a fit just yet, but I am a big fan of him too. I loved him in the playoffs a couple years ago against the Nashville Predators and against the Oilers. I thought that Vancouver team was crazy. Yeah. So I don't think he's bad. I just think the Leafs are bad. And he's not a guy that's going to be able to lead them out of this. Now, I want to ask you guys this. How much of this people are talking about in our chat tonight? Talking about head coach, talking about general manager. Matthews' name has come up. How much of this? Oh, we got a goal finally from Austin Matthews, who I was just going to bring up. Yeah, baby, back in this shit. Hey, Penguins, do you see us? We're coming. We're in your walls, Penguins. Keep letting us shoot. We've got 11 of them. Well, at least they got a goal. That's what you needed to do. You needed to do that. Look at this. Austin, nice little breakaway shot. Beautiful. More of that, please. More of that, please. That was a great shot. Nice and low. I was just about to ask you guys this, and maybe Austin answered it for us. How much emotional leadership do you want to see from Austin Matthews versus leadership from the front, meaning his actions? Because he can yell and scream and throw sticks or whatever, but ultimately Austin Matthews' best leadership qualities are his ability to play hockey, right? What do we think? What do we think? Cool man Lanny says, we are not cooked, chat. We might still be cooked, but at least Austin scored. Again, great night for my fantasy team because I stupidly drafted Austin Matthews with my first pick in my fantasy draft. It wasn't the first overall pick, but it was my first pick. And you're asking me, hey, Adam, who did you draft in the second round? Well, that's great that you asked. Artemi Panarin, who's got like 3 points this year. What's happening to the game I love? McMahon to Riley, shot. Jari with a save. He looks good, man. Jari looks good. Leafs haven't really tested him. Now, I've also heard from by the way, if you want to talk about how people are at the Rogers Corporation who own the Maple Leafs, how upset they are. I have heard from a source this evening that clients are getting fed up and threatening to pull out of sponsoring the Leafs. There are threats already to pull out because people are so sick of this. There is a lot of pressure internally. People think that Rogers is just this big organization that doesn't care or whatever. No, they care Because if the Leafs are good, just like if the Jays are good, just like if the Raptors are good, guess what? Rogers has had, oh, we got a goal! William Nylander! Shot 11 and shot 12. Go in. Sorry, Tristan Jarry. Your shutout streak is over, and the Leafs are just 1 goal down on the Penguins. Maybe the sponsors won't be so damn mad. Listen, all I'm saying is that the Toronto Maple Leafs need to do more of whatever this is. I haven't seen this all year. Now, Penguins fans, do you hear us coming? Do you hear the footsteps? Do you hear the pitter-patter of the flippers? Because, Penguins have flippers, Oh. Cool Man Lanny dropping another super chat. We are not cooked, chat. We are not cooked. Do not tell the papers that we were owned. Oh, man. And I think the Penguins might be challenging this one. Are they challenging this one or are they taking a timeout? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Why are they not dropping Pence took a timeout. That's excellent. That's excellent news. Why aren't they using this to go to commercial break, though, Hayden? That's what I want to know. It's 15-13. They should just go to commercial break. Oh, it's not allowed until after 14? Boo hiss. 14-10-6? 14-10-6 or 14-10-4. Fine. 23 Plaster. The sponsors are mad. Sponsors being mad at this is concerning when 6 to 10 years down the line, a rebuild is needed. If they want to pull out now, it may screw a rebuild. No, I think here's the thing. 23 Plaster. Here's what I want to drop to you. The Leafs charge like the most money of any NHL team for any sponsorships. It's just the reality of it. Sponsors expect victory or they expect hope. When you are selling hope, it's not as lucrative as victory, but it's not bad. But when think you're a sponsor, right? You want to sponsor the Toronto Maple Leafs. You got to pay like $2-3 million just to get your logo next to the Leafs logo. And then you have to do what they call an activation, meaning you got to spend money with Sportsnet or you got to spend money with other media outlets to quote unquote promote the fact that you have the partnership. So it's in a lot of cases, it's like a $10-15 million commitment for some of these brands. That's a huge chunk of change. And so if you've sold them on, the Leafs made it to the Game 7 of the second round against the eventual Stanley Cup champions, and they start and the first month looks like this, you bet your ass I would be calling them and going, what kind of product did you sign us up for? Because we'll never buy this again at this level, right? That's how you kind of put the screws to them. Now, if the Leafs did want to rebuild, which I don't think they do, and I don't think they need to, at least not yet, you would set pricing and you would set clients up with that expectation. But that's not what's happening here. What's happening here is the Leafs are on a bit of a, hey, this is my point about the Toronto Maple Leafs, is the goals that they've just scored, Matthews and Nylander, were completely scoreable in the first two periods. They just didn't have any energy or fight. Now you're watching them and you're feeling good because they actually are bringing it. And this is the problem with the team. Please, please play 60 full minutes of hockey ever once in your life. And in this era, they just never have. Just never have. Benjamin says, if a normal team does bad, they don't sell out their tickets for the arena, forcing them to reduce the price of the tickets. That does not happen in Toronto. No, it doesn't happen in Toronto. And the other thing is, unlike the rest of the NHL, so the rest of the NHL is what we call a gate-driven league, right? So something roughly between 30 and 40% of a team's total revenue in a normal NHL market and it's usually on the higher side of 30%, like 37, 38%, comes from ticket sales. In Toronto, it might be 15, 20%. And they make a lot off that. But the sponsorship dollars available to the Toronto Maple Leafs are crazy. And, you know, it's very unique that way because Toronto's the biggest city in the country. It's the economic center. And so, you know, the Leafs have the most fans and it's the most populous, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of these brands have their headquarters here, and they're going to spend a ton of money where they think they can get the most bang for their buck. That's why the Leafs are able to make so much money. And that's why they're an outlier in terms of the NHL. The Leafs operate a lot more like an NBA team would. NBA teams usually, I think their gate is usually 20 to 25%, depending upon the size of the market. Usually smaller markets means the ticket sales are more important. And the NBA is such a big television draw and such a big national sponsorship draw that it's the cost of tickets is so much less important to the bottom line versus your national TV deal and your national like sales deal. And I know this might be super boring, but it does speak to the fact that when you are selling a team to a sponsor, let's say Scotiabank, it's Scotiabank Arena, and they've already locked up that deal. But let's say you're trying to sell Scotiabank on the Leafs this year. What you were doing was you were saying, hey, man, look at they almost got to the third round last year. I know it was, they went out in sort of sad fashion, but they took the eventual Stanley Cup champions to 7 games. That's impressive, right? So you can sell that. What you can't sell is a month into the season play like this. You can't sell those first 2 periods. And when a team is supposed to be good and they're not, that's when you find sponsors get really mad. That's just the reality of it. And fans get really mad too. It's natural. If you set them up with, hey, the Leafs are going to suck, but they're kind of going to be fun, and this is a rebuilding year, well, they're open to that. But if you set them up with, they're a Stanley Cup contender and you're going to pay Stanley Cup contender prices, yeah, they're going to be pissed. So Brad's got his work cut out for him. Oliver Ekman Lars with a shot. Oh. Matthews behind the net. It's Nyes, Matthews, and Nylander. They're trying to get a goal here. Nylander shot for the point, and he scores! The Leafs have tied it up. Shots 11, shots 12, and shots 14. The Toronto Maple Leafs have tied this game. And they're still getting outshot 2-1. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is the most Toronto-ass game I've ever seen. Not show up for the first couple of periods, score a bunch in the third. This is so crazy. But they're playing well. They're trying. They're attempting. By the way, according to Kevin Aukema, Crosby was on the ice for all 3 goals the Leafs got. That means Kyle Dubas is trading him. Cool man Lanny saying, chat, we are not cooked. We are cooking. Emo Jalapeno, bing, bang, boom. Dude, how are the Pens fans in the chat doing right now? Alex 9269 says, not a great night for Nylander to be benched in fantasy. I'm sorry. I hope you're in a rotisserie league. I'm in a week-long league. So when Connor Garland went down, I couldn't put him on the IR until today. And that was like last Tuesday. Francois Labelle, holy hibijibis. Hibijibis. David Owens, this team is ruining my life, David. Amen. All of us. Here we go. Ekman Larson with a shot. Oh, and Jari makes the save. Oh, no, it was Nick Waugh. It's the other super tall, skinny guy. Francois Labelle dropping 5 SDPN memberships. Penguins fans still saying, there's a point on the table. Adam totally redeems himself for chasing off Marner with 3 straight goals. Way to go, Adam. Hey, Phenom, buddy, are you seeing this? It's me. Goal-scoring machine, Adam Wild. Somebody said, Matt said, why are they like this? This is how they always were. Play like dog shit because I don't feel like it. Oh, man, I guess, okay, the coach is going to get on our case and we're going to get bag skated tomorrow. I guess we'll shoot some pucks in the net. By the way, this was a Christmas present from Jesse years ago. I think it was like 2019. He got that for me. Isn't that lovely? What a nice guy. Pens fans here. I have PTSD from the last 2 years. I don't blame you. Jari's been good this year, though. You got to have some faith in him. The last couple of years seem like outliers compared to how he used to play. Right? I know 2 years in hockey is a long time, though. Believe me, I get it. Phenom said Jesse did a great job on Jay's games. Yes, he friggin' did. Yes, he friggin' did. It looks like the Leafs are going to take a power penalty on a bad hit on Carlson. I missed it. I was looking at the chat. I apologize. Was that Sammy Blais that hit him? So they're saying Sammy Blais is going to get a penalty. Karlsson looks like he's okay. I want to see this play. I missed it. They're doing a Range Rover ad here, and then we'll get to it. Z6 says playing a full 60 minutes is really hard, I guess. It isn't hard for every team. It just seems to be hard for the Leafs. But sometimes a full 20 is all you need, and that's been the Leafs' MO for years. Okay, so Blais hits Karlsson across the head. Yeah, that's bad. That's just a dumb play. Yeah, that was dumb. Blais should keep his damn stick down. And that's the thing. Now the Leafs have tied it on they had 3 goals on 5 shots. 3 goals on 4 shots even. And now they're going to the PK. Now their PK is good. It's 10th in the NHL, but the Penguins power play is 2nd in the NHL, and they've already scored a goal tonight. Thank you, Ben Kindle. Remind me. I'm gonna go to my Yahoo team, and I'm picking up Ben Kindle. I'm picking him up right now. He's mine. By the way, I'm just kicking ass in fantasy tonight because I have Matthews and Karlsson. Matthews with a shot. Oh, guys, I'm telling you, Kindle. Is Kindle available? He is. Oh, I'm taking him. Give me Ben Kindle and give me now. Add Ben Kindle. Hell yeah. Ben Kindle is now on Adam Wiles' fantasy team. Ha. Matthews. They're just showing that Matthews play with Nyes coming off the shorthanded. Pretty good. By the way, Matthews is 12 goals from tying Matt Sundin for most in franchise history. He has 408. Maybe 20, 30 minutes ago, we were wondering if Austin Matthews would ever score again. So that's nice. Our fears are well, I don't know if we're not afraid now. We might still be a little afraid. Isn't it fun being a Leafs fan? Are we enjoying this? You enjoying this yet? Oh. Did you see Myers? He turned around and he's like, who's this guy in front of the net? And it's Sidney Crosby. And he's like, okay, I'm not going to smash you in the face. You're Sidney Crosby. I think that was fair. I think that was the right thing. Got to have a little respect for the man. See, look, he gives him a nice little hug. Sid, you okay? SDPN should do fan fantasy leagues. We should. We've wanted to. I think we're going to probably do it with Spark eventually. We just, like, part of it has been, I don't want to do it on, like, Yahoo or one of these other ones. I want to do it on, like, our own platform where we can reward our fans. And I think that's the best thing that we could do. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be in with us, I want to give you something that's great. I don't want it to just be what everybody else has. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting a charging cable out because my computer, where I've got my chat, is running out of batteries. So yeah, obviously we're not going to get regular season fantasy done this year, but I think we can probably get it done by next year. And I'd like to do it for more than just hockey. I'd love to do it for the NFL. Oh boy, Pittsburgh almost got there because NFL fantasy is just super fun. And we have an internal SDPN NFL fantasy league, and it is so bloody competitive. Like we are, it's not, it's not like for the faint of heart. Like we are serious about it. And Hayden, and by the way, Hayden's got a terrible record, and I've got the best record, but Hayden beat me. Fair and square. Fair and square. Hayden beat me, and he beat me good last week. Now I just beat Tim Haraney this week. So I am 7-2, but you know, playoffs are coming up here in week 12. So I got to keep sharp, figure out who my starting lineup's going to be for those playoffs. I'm just plugging this in. Hang on. All right. 8:47 left. Are you guys ready for a bizarre finish? This could have been, honestly, the worst game of the Leaf season. And now, with 10 minutes in the third period, we're like, oh, okay, it doesn't feel so bad. It was still bad. We need to acknowledge it was still bad. but go out and win the game. Go win it anyway. 23 Plaster says, if you guys ever do a fan fantasy thing, could the rewards be allowed in Quebec? I know that Quebec is a pain in the ass to deal with, but it would be. Oh man. Stolarz with a big save. He's going to have to make another one. Oh, another big save on Blake Lizotte. Damn. And the Leafs playing with a little passion and fire, and they're moving guys in front of the net. Let's go, man. This is what we need. 23 Plaster. Yes, we can figure that out. I think the issue is Quebec has bizarre contesting laws, and they're so different from the rest of Canada that a lot of the time it just becomes really hard and really expensive to award things. But I will look into that, I promise you. Even hiring people in Quebec from an Ontario-based company it's a completely different set of laws. Like so we have common law here in Ontario. They have what do they call that? Code? Like it's like based on French coded law. And it's like it's bizarre. I don't even really understand the distinction, but I know it's a lot different. So when out of town scoreboard is up, by the way. Oilers 2-0 over the Blues. Canucks tied with the Predators 1-1, and we got the Blackhawks and Kraken starting at 10 o'clock. By the way, something to watch for. If you're going to watch hockey late tonight, that Blackhawks Kraken game could be really good. Two guys to watch for. One struggling, one not. Matty Beniers, who I think we all expected would be a breakout star for Seattle right now, hasn't quite got there yet. And one guy that seems to be dragging the Blackhawks out of the basement is Connor Bedard. You know, he's not getting enough chat because I think guys like Matthew Schaefer, Geno Malkin, Sidney Crosby, Chris Letang, all these guys are having great years, and it's a story. But in any other year, we'd be talking about Connor Bedard's third year and going, finally, we're seeing what this guy's going to be able to do. And you know what? He's got a good supporting cast. Like, I don't know if you guys have watched any Blackhawks hockey this year, but I've loved Frank Nazar. That guy rocks. Bedard has 15 points, 6 goals, 9 assists already. You know, this is just the beginning of what's going to be a very, very special career. So I'm pretty excited. Alex says, look, I've been a fan for a long time. 10 minutes of the third, the 10 minutes of the third is never a guarantee. That's true. That's true. Trevor says Montour is dragging the Kraken too. As in, like, dragging them publicly, or he's dragging them down? I haven't seen a lot of Kraken games, I'll be honest. Alex says, I can handle losses. What I can't handle is laziness. Well, here's the thing for Pens fans. And listen, Pens fans have been subjected, if you're from Pittsburgh, you've been subjected to awful Pirates management for years. So you know what a bad team sort of looks like. I don't know if you know what a team that doesn't work hard looks like. And that's our issue in Toronto. Like, the Blue Jays are a team that worked so hard for every single out. You just grind and grind and grind. And that is the type of team Toronto likes. They like that on the ice. They like that on the football field. We like that playing soccer. That is the kind of team that's a Toronto type team. And the Leafs have just never sort of been able to be that in this era. But if you look back at the Leaf teams that were really beloved in previous eras, I'm talking about the Matt Sundin Leafs with, you know, the early runs with Doug Gilmour and Wendell Clark before Matt's got here in the early 90s and then the late 90s and early 2000s with Cujo and Belfour and Joe Newendike and Gary Roberts and Darcy Tucker and Shane Corson and Stumpy Thomas and Freddie Modine and some of the, Yuskevich. They were not always the most talented, but they were absolutely hardworking. And I think that's where Toronto gets frustrated and upset. I do. 7:24 left in the third period. Matthew Nyes, Austin Matthews, and William Nylander out there because Craig Berube is like, screw it, we need a goal. Let's make it happen. Aerosmix23, thanks for the Hawks love. They've actually been such a pleasure to watch this season. And a new dynamic duo in Chicago has arrived. Man, they've been so exciting. And you know who's been really great too? So I've loved Nazar. I've loved Bedard. You know who else has been great? Spencer Knight, man. Spencer Knight. They found a goalie. And I think Spencer Knight's got the ability to be better statistically than like a guy like Corey Crawford. And I know Corey Crawford's a bit of a legend in Chicago. But this new Hawks team could have a better goalie than they ever had at the height of the Taves Kane era. Think about that. My question for them is going to be on defense. You need to find your Chalmerson, your Duncan Keith. Oh, Kindle almost made a move in there for the hat trick. He's still looking dangerous, man. You're going to need, so Chicago's going to need a Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook and Nick Chalmerson. I love Chalmerson, man. That's okay, Hayden. Hayden just coughed in my ears. I think Hayden's okay. Are you okay, Hayden? You okay? He's good? He's good. Don't worry, guys. Oh, he's having a 0 sugar ginger ale, and it went down the wrong tube. Did it go up the back of your nose and into your nostrils? That is a weird feeling. That makes your eyes water. Yeah, I get it. You're being insane, Adam. 2010 goalie stats look insane compared to today's goalie stats. I'm just talking about talent levels. Like, let's be honest. Of the best players in Chicago, and no disrespect to Corey Crawford, like the best 5 players they had were, Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook, Taze Kane, and whoever was really good. Oh, here we go! Bobby McMahon! His first point in 9 games! Scored the Leafs up 4-3. What? What is this team, man? And Ben Kindle just had a premium opportunity at the end of the ice maybe 30 seconds ago. What is this? So it was Tavares, Robertson, and McMahon. What a combo. And they are pushing. Here's the thing with Robertson. You never have to worry about him not trying. He might not always be able to get it done, but he gets a weak shot at the net. The rebound is stopped. And look at that. Bobby McMahon able to get it past Tristan Jarry right into the arms of John Tavares. And that was a big weight off his back. Cool man Landy says, chat, we are cooking, chat. Woo! Guys, are the Leafs back? Are the Leafs back? What did I tell you? Did I not say this in the second period? The Leafs are too talented to play like this. I keep saying it, and I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. I keep telling you they're too talented to play that bad. And look at what we're seeing right now. The Pittsburgh Penguins, whatever you think of them, whatever I thought of them before the season started, are 1 point out of first place in the NHL tied, 2 points out of the full lead of first place in the NHL. Right now, we are well into 15% of the season already done. So that's pretty significant. That's a good sample size. That's a month. That's pretty good. And the Toronto Maple Leafs just scored 4 unanswered goals. No guarantees they win because it is the Toronto Maple Leafs and they love giving up weird goals. But I will say this, they were always too good to be playing that bad. Phenom says Leafs equal bipolar hockey at its finest. Go Leafs, go. Yes. And Emo Jalapeno, bing, bang, boom, bop. Woo! Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, don't let this Leaf team off the hook. Don't say it's not because they're good. They are good. They just have to want to play good. And they didn't want it in the first 2 periods. They want it now, though. Whatever. I want to know what Berube said to them. Who stepped up, or maybe it wasn't Craig. Maybe it was one of the players. Who stepped up and said something in the periods that said, okay, this is it. Now, by the way, I want to mention, if you guys are fans of the Steve Dangle podcast, we have an extra episode we put out every week that is our subscription. So this makes you an SDP VIP. We talk about a whole bunch of other things outside of hockey, like pop culture stuff. It's the way the show used to be formatted. I used to be like, all right, we're doing hockey first hour and we're doing crazy pop culture shit in the second hour. But then as the show grew, people were like, well, we need more hockey. And so we kind of stopped doing it. And then so the VIP allows us to get crazy. The community is amazing. So if you were gifted an SDPN membership tonight, I know several people, Emo Jalapeno, I think, Canadian Girl 83, Francois LaBelle, were giving out memberships. If you get one of those, give the VIP thing a try. Because not only do you get an extra episode, but if you upgrade to the VIP ad-free section, which is $6.99 a month, you get all Steve Dangle podcast episodes on your preferred mode of listening. So Apple Music, Spotify, or YouTube, you choose. You get them earlier than anybody else, and you get them completely ad-free. You will not hear ads in those shows. So you're going to get 4 episodes, no ads for $6.99 a month. But you can also get 4 episodes, 3 with ads, 1 without, for $4.99. So $6.99 for the higher tier, $4.99 for the lower tier. And by the way, the lower tier is available on YouTube only. Spotify and Apple only allow us to do one tier. So we have to give you, that's how we have to do it. So anyway, if you're a member of VIP, guys, come and join. It's fun. Rennie says, if this was Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, I've never played Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, the Leafs just use the super slow starter gadgets. I have no idea what that is. I feel like I need to play that game. Francois Labelle, would the Leafs score be 12-3 if they played like this for an entire game? You know? Maybe. I would love to know what this game would look like if they had played like this in one of the other periods. Not both. I'm not even looking for 60 minutes at this pace. What's one of the other periods if the Leafs play this well feel like? Gotta know. Den says, hey, there's still time for the Penguins to tie. It's true. Andrew says, I'm so happy Jari is terrible, except that Jari's been great all year. Alex Mercer, 674, Adam and STPN, which panel is better, Prime or Sportsnet? It depends on which panel it is. I'm a fan of, I love Kipper and Bourne. I've always thought Nick Kyprios, I've met and interviewed Nick, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think Nick's an awesome guy. I also think Justin Bourne is an awesome guy. We interviewed him and had him on the podcast years ago when he was at the Score, and he was excellent. Such a smart person. And Elliot Friedman has always been great to us. So I because I know those guys in passing, like I wouldn't say we're like best buddies, but like have tons of respect for them. Like that panel a lot. And I really like the Amazon panels. Like I think Jody Shelley's really underrated. Biz on the Amazon broadcast, anytime you put Biz in a hockey setting, he's going to be entertaining. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's better. It just depends on who's on the panel, but those are the ones I tend to favor. And I like all the TSN panels. I'm a big fan of basically whoever they put in there. TSN's got this lock on great talent, great communication skills, and the ability to have a really fun, spirited debate in a really short amount of time. It's not easy to do. 3:47 left in the third period. Leafs now having to defend a lead. This has not happened much. Don't worry, Pens fans. They're very inexperienced at it. Is Vintage Matthews back? Says Manraj. I hope so. I don't know, though. Here comes Willie. Shot. Jari with the save. Nobody there to get the rebound, but that's okay. Waste a little bit of time, and the Penguins dump it back down. Do we have an icing? Yes, the Penguins just ice the puck. Just looking at the Amazon has a great broadcast, great ice sounds. I agree. I have a ton of respect how Amazon too is trying to push the boundaries on, because like I think Bell and Rogers kind of got away with not worrying about having competition for a long time. It was just the two of them. Now that they've got a little Amazon competition in there, I like that. John says, what hair product do you use? Today, nothing. This is just water. If you can believe it. Just water. But I do have like a paste. I forget what it's called. But one of my best friends is a hair stylist in Toronto. His name's Philippe Fiorio. He runs a salon called Fiorio's Salon. It's in Yorkville. Philippe and I are very close. Like he was the best man at my first wedding. He was also at my second wedding when I didn't have a bridal party. It was much smaller. And Philippe and I have been buddies since I was probably like 9. Kind of like a big brother to me. So I go to him to get my hair cut, and he hooks me up with this paste, and I forget what it's called, but they have it for sale there. Andrew Doctoral, I'm genuinely curious why this team never plays 60 minutes. I get you can't keep the pedal down all night, but tonight's example, it's a fair question to ask. Guys, like, look at this Penguins team. They've allowed 4 straight goals, and are they stopping? Have they stopped creating opportunities? No. Ben Kindle almost put the Penguins up with a hat-trick goal 30 seconds before the Leafs went up 4-3. Like, they never stopped. The Leafs have this thing where they're like, I think they were just raised in an environment where there were older guys to play the nights where they took off. And then when Nylander, Marner, and Matthews became as good as they've become together with Tavares, I don't even know how to describe it. They sort of became this, like, we can score at will. So we're just there's going to be certain nights where we're not good, and you're just going to have to deal with that. And in the playoffs, that really bites you. We saw that time after time after time. There are just nights where they didn't have it. And this is what's been so frustrating. I kept telling you guys, this team is too talented to look this bad. And we've seen it in the third. They are too talented to look this bad. They've just proved my point. But they are not talented enough to take that many periods off anymore. They got lucky tonight against the Penguins to even be in this game. That's if the Penguins don't tie it up. Here they go. Oh, wiped away they got 90 seconds left, by the way. Malkin had a shot. Carlson able to hold the line. Remember, the Penguins' power play is a monster. It's really, really good. So 6-on-5, it kind of follows that they'd be pretty dangerous. Second in the league, by the way, and they do have a power play goal tonight. So man advantage favors the Pens. They do great on special teams. Leafs cannot get this puck. This is the longest 30 seconds of my life, and there's still 2 more 30-second segments to go. Holy moly. Leafs have not even sniffed the puck. That is great puck control by the Penguins. And you know what? They got the vets to do it. These guys have some experience. Oh, Crosby was almost all alone. And William Nylander is away. He's going to beat Carlson, but not beat... I didn't even see who was back. Was that Kindle? It was. Stripped him. 34 seconds to go for the Leafs. Crosby across the line, but Benoit is able to knock it away. 22 seconds to go. Kindle, Carlson. Are we going to overtime or not? What are we going to do? We're going to know in the next 15 seconds. Kindle, Carlson. 10 seconds to go. Letang, Carlson, Leafs boxing out. Penguins try to shoot it in. They're going to have to take a late shot. Crosby with a backhand, and the Leafs win this game entirely in the third period. Whatever Greg Berube or Austin Matthews or whomever said between period 2 and period 3, damn, dude. What a change. That was the first time this season, I would argue, the Leafs have looked like the Leafs. And I include the Philadelphia game in that. That is the first time I've seen the Leafs look like themselves. And yes, that means the bad first 2 periods too. That was a damn good period. Can they string 2 together? Hang on for Wednesday when we'll find out. To Penguins fans in the chat, I just hope you know how much we appreciate and love you. Thank you for being here. This is the thing, man. Oh, Cool Man Landing chat. We cooked. Let's effing go. Busting Fulian says, damn, I was hoping for a Dangle meltdown. I don't even think he would have melted down today. I don't think he would have melted down. But what he is going to say, I'm going to guarantee you this is like, oh, was his Twitter melting down, Hayden? Oh, really? Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, my God. Now, I do want to say this to my Penguins friends. Can we call a truce? Not only did I buy your new sexy jersey, but I've also been extremely complimentary of the team because guess what? Team's been good. Team's been good. Okay? Team has been good. They lost tonight, but they've been good. And I just want to say, big shout out to the Pens. Big shout out to the fans. Can we officially call a truce? I would like to. And what are your truce terms? Do I have to stop talking about Sidney Crosby being traded to the Montreal Canadiens? By the way, Brian says, nice try. You hate the Pens. The jersey is crazy, man. Dude, that jersey is so good. I can't believe the Pens never did that before. That all gold jersey. Amazing. Matthews, I think, is the first start tonight, by the way. Oh, Steve wants me to answer the phone. Oh. What do you need, Steve?
I need to know the vindication.
What's the vindication?
Well, I mean, the Leafs were getting their supple bottom spanked
Yeah.
by the lowly, garbagely, Adam Wild hatedly Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah. True.
And then they came back and scored 4 goals in, I think, 45 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was shots 11, 12, and 14 that tied the game. And then I think it was shot 15 or 16 that finished it.
Completely stupid and ridiculous. But you've been watching all night.
Yeah.
What the hell?
They were awful. Like, we were having the chat was getting a little dark, and I was getting a little dark in the first 2 periods, especially after the second one. Cause I was like, after the first period, I'm like, okay, bad period. Maybe they can, do a better job and play hockey. Dude, they were so flipping bad. And yet this third period is exactly what I've been saying about the Leafs. They're too talented to be let off the hook like this. People are like, maybe they're just bad. No, they're not bad. They're actually really good. They just don't want it. And in the third period, they wanted it.
They made me crumple up the whole LFR I was going to do because, like, it's insane that you have to tell them to want it.
Yeah.
It's insane that they were capable of this the whole time and just simply didn't do it. But also, like, that's magic. Like, I was going to go into how much money people paid to be there tonight. You probably didn't see it because you were streaming. But I tweeted, I was like, hey, if you're at this game tonight, let me know how much you paid to get in. Like, I was going to go that deep, and they all got to see something that, like, heaven forbid anyone left early.
Oh, I hope they didn't.
What? I don't even know what to make of that, and I maybe shouldn't ask too many questions. You know what I mean?
Don't look, what do they call it? This is a very an old man phrase, but don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And I didn't know what that meant until I realized that a gift horse, you can tell a horse's age by the shape of its teeth. So that's why you don't look it in the mouth.
How did you bag your wife? Like, that's crazy. Like, is that the sort of, like, did you tell her that on your first date?
No, man, I hid that shit. I didn't tell her how nerdy I was until she was hooked in. And then it all came out.
You lucky.
Yeah.
One guy.
Yeah. I'm looking at the chat right now. Ellie Nasser says, Adam, you have Steve Dangle Glynn as your insane. You have Steve. His name is Steve Dangle Glynn, insane work associate energy. Well, I don't know. Like, for me, sometimes I want to say call Steve Dangle, or sometimes I want to say call Steve Glynn. So I just have him as both. It just, sometimes when I had him as Steve Dangle or Steve Glynn, I could never remember which way I had him. So therefore, I was like, okay, I'm going to have him as Steve Dangle Glynn, because everybody's looking at my phone right now. Steve on the chat.
The real answer is I'm Steve Glynn when I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you are Steve Glynn. Yeah, that's true. Now, Steve, let me ask you this. Give people who are still in the chat, and there's well over 1,000 of them still here, give them an idea of what to expect from tonight's LFR.
I think this needs to be a rallying point. This needs to be hellfire and brimstone in the best possible way. I have been begging for the moment to happen this season. The moment that they can rally around. The moment where their season takes off and doesn't buckle.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was shaping up to be their worst loss of the season. Like, just in terms of everyone's finally locked in the Leafs, and this is what you give them. First game back, you suck, you stink, you're not worth it. Why are you so garbage? They ruined the team. They have no first round picks. And all of a sudden, it's the big boys dropping it on the table so hard they snapped it in half. Matthews was an animal.
Yeah, he was.
Nylander was an animal. Tavares is everything that you expect him to be. Same with Nyes. Good Lord, Bobby McMahon needed that goal. And Nick Robertson, in a very short amount of time, has played himself into, don't you dare ever take this guy out of the lineup ever again, Terry.
Man, he is all energy all the time, eh?
Because I think he's no longer just going through the motions as a guy who requested a trade and doesn't want to be here. Like, buddy, you're riding shotgun with Matthews and or Tavares. Just go for it, bud.
Yeah.
You'll never get a better shot. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? And you're going to play with better line mates?
Yeah.
This is it. Like, he knows this is it. He's going to set himself up for the rest of his life here.
Yeah.
And he's one of their best players. That was complete. That whatever that was in the third period needs to be the standard going forward.
Now, do you think
I won't settle for anything less?
Do you think it's enough? Like, obviously, Matthews and Nylander scoring. You know, you need your best players to score to win, right? Like, that's sort of the thing. But from what you saw from the rest of the team, is that a recipe for success in the long term? Like the defense. I mean, Stolarz looked really good, really, really good in the third. But, like, what did you think of the rest of the lines? Because it still feels, I do still feel like they're missing a top six guy, but you can't just, get one to fall out of the sky. So what do? You're
really missing a top six guy when the bottom six isn't good. They have a decision to make about what kind of team do they want to be. Because it took me, I couldn't watch the game and tell you who was trashed. I had to go through the lines and be like, oh, it's Michelli. And Michelli's not a player that I've hated watching, but I don't think I think Sammy Blais is a way better match for what this team hopes to be.
Yep.
Than him. Like, he's fine to have and everything, but like, if we're talking about guys who could be on the way out, like, listen, are you intense? Are you defensively responsible? Are you going to crash the net? Domi, when he's on the ice, doesn't have the puck enough to forecheck ever. Mm-hmm. He just gets hemmed in, and watching him play hockey can be a chore a lot of the time.
Yep.
Putting him and Cowan together, okay, so you're just putting two guys who are the same together.
Yeah.
So I hated that deeply. And then Dakota Joshua, it's like you drew the short end of you drew the short straw.
Yeah.
The bottom six needs to be belligerent and chaotic.
Yep.
And I think once Scott Laughton comes back, it'll be exactly what the doctor ordered. It'll give them a little extra scoring punch, but it'll just give them more jerk. They'll just be worse to play against.
So hopefully he's back next game. He could be back anytime, right?
Yeah. And what's crazy is Lorentz isn't playing either. Like, one thing that even though they won, that they need to do that I think is obvious now is they need to make a trade. I talked about trying to find something for Tanev.
Yeah.
That would be nice, since he's out. But, you have way too much talent and way too much money that's just sitting right now. You don't even have – you have 3 extra forwards and no extra D. That's crazy. So they're going to have to do something here.
Okay. All right. Now, last question from Dennis. Short answer. Ask Steve if a 3-0 lead in Toronto is the new 4-1. Yes or no, Steve?
Honestly, it's not a big enough lead to be considered the new 4-1.
Yeah.
It's got to be. I've watched this team duff a 5-0 lead twice. Don't tell me about 3-0.
All right, Steve, go get your LFR done. It's already late, 10:30. But thank you for joining us.
No, that was it. Someone clip that and throw it up.
Oh, that's the LFR. Okay, well, that's cool. Yeah. Justin also said that our segment sucks, so you can text him about that. He said your segment sucks, guys. So.
Kiss my ass there, Justin.
All right, buddy. Talk to you. We got a new Steve Dangle podcast tomorrow, by the way, with Steve Dangle Glenn. Woohoo! All right, later, buddy. That's 2 Steve appearances on the show. 2 Steve appearances. Can you imagine? All right. So listen, I want to tell you guys something. For those of you that are still here, I really appreciate you. I thought tonight was going to be sad and depressing, and for a while it was. But it was great to have all the Pens fans here. Goat says, as a Pens fan, it is sickening to see Adam happy tonight. Fair enough. I've given Pens fans a lot of shit. I've really never given Pens fans a lot of shit. I've given the Penguins a lot of shit. But I want to say it was great to have all the Penguins fans in the chat. I know there was a lot of you tonight. To all the Leaf fans in the chat, listen, it's ugly, but a win is a win. Enjoy it. And we'll see what happens on Wednesday. And be on the lookout because I'm going to start ramping up my streams now. I'm going to try to aim for more than once a week because there's a lot of weekday games. And I figured, why not? Let's do this. So let's enjoy it. So it won't happen this week, I don't think. But in the future, we're doing a few more. You're going to see Hayden a lot more. You're going to see Robert a lot more. You're going to see Maddie a lot more. We're going to have some fun. To Hayden and to Justin, thank you guys for working as hard as you guys did. And love you all, Gripper Nation. Doesn't matter what team you cheer for. We're all in this together. We're enjoying it. And I'll see you on the next stream. It'll be next week. And then, like I said, get ready because the streams are going up. All right? Love you all.